Welcome to the news belt of the AM show. Let's get into our first story now. Ghana's natural environment is under threat due to the alarming rise in illegal mining activities, commonly known as Galamsey. These activities have led to severe pollution of water bodies, widespread deforestation, and the destruction of fertile lands, posing significant risks to the nation's ecosystem and livelihoods. In response to this urgent crisis, Joy News, in collaboration with DWTV, is organizing a street debate to engage experts, stakeholders, and the public in a robust discussion. There's more in this report.
The event, set to take place at the University of Ghana's BAM Library, aims to dissect the root causes of Galamsey, examine its environmental and socio-economic impacts, and propose actionable solutions. The street debate will blend expert presentations, moderator discussions, and active audience participation to create a dynamic platform for debate. Host of the 77% street debate on DWTV, Edith Kimani, together with her team, is in Ghana for this event. Joining them is Lois Shola Adeyemi, host of Just Turned 18 on Joy News and Joy Prime, and the local team for a dynamic conversation you don't want to miss.
It's the street beats in Ghana. We are in partnership with one of our big partners.
My name is Derek Elom, and I'm the director for the street debates we're having in the University of Ghana. I'm leading the technical team. As you see, it's a team of experts, all the guys, engineers, broadcast guys, directors, lights guys, and all of that. What we're trying to say it's going to be a seamless event, because we're taking it live on TV and, of course, for social media as well.
The street debate set to come off on Friday, 22nd of November. We expect it to be a great event. Students will be here. We have experts coming in and people in the mining industry also joining us.
The team here at Joy News is ready for this exciting collaboration as we tackle the issues that matter most to you. Behind the scenes, our incredible senior producers, directors and engineers are the driving force, making this event a resounding success.
So 77%, the multimedia group, like you've never seen it before. Can't wait.
Sarah Mensah's report, read to you.
We get right into your election headquarters now, brought to you in association with Petrosol Platinum Energy, Energizing Dreams, Chopbox, a convenient service, German Ozone, Alternative Therapy, Dental Wellness and Beauty, CIMA, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, and ICPA, together as the Association of Internal Certified Professional Accountants. There's Youth Break Foundation, Bridging Gaps for Positive Youth Development, Syntex Times, a strong, a tough, Potential Real Estate, your trusted partner in real estate, Delaxi Paints champion. Now, getting there, the New Patriotic Party says it supports the Ghana Police Service's decision to use brute force to deal with violent situations that may arise on December the 7th. This is in reaction to Inspector General Dr. George Ekufu-Dampari's reaffirmation that the police will not hold back in trying to ensure peace and order in chaotic situations during the elections. James Aveji has more from the engagement between the Election Security Task Force and leadership of the various political parties at the police headquarters yesterday.
The Ghana Police Service, led by IGP Dr. George Ekufu-Dampari, has been engaging with leadership of the various political parties, including representatives of the independent presidential candidates going into the election. Now, this is deemed crucial, especially in the past few days where there's been allegations and counter-allegations over some plots to cause mayhem as well as rig the 2024 general elections. This, as well as issues of safety, has been paramount to the various political parties who address the election task force in this meeting.
I know the security agencies probably might also be getting those intelligence about people planning to cause chaos on December 7th. We want the assurance from the security agencies that irrespective of political position, irrespective of whether MPP, NDC, whatever party, no one should be above the law.
Recently, we've heard news of somebody being arrested or some some items confiscated at the port. And one of the things included are illegal arms. Please, what is the assurances that we are going to get?
The IGP in turn has been congratulating the political parties for maintaining peace and order, at least within the campaigning season we have witnessed so far, but was firm on the fact that the police will not hesitate to use brute force in occasions that demand so during the election.
Where we need to engage, we will engage. Where we need to de-escalate, we will de-escalate. But where we need to be merciless when it comes to the application of law within the context of rule of law under our democratic dispensation, we can tell you that for the sake of the sanctity of the state called Ghana, we'll stop at nothing. And I repeat, we'll stop at nothing.
Meanwhile, General Secretary of the NPP, Justin Kodia, says he and the NPP support the police's use of brute force when the need arises.
We don't even need to get to that point for the police to be ruthless in dealing with certain people. It's elections. Go express your view. Go and decide who you want to govern this country in the next 4 years.
If you support the police if they have.
Fully support the police. If it happens like that.
We can also hear from the Director of Election for the NDC, Dr. Manibuama, on what he make out of all of this engagement with the police.
We are also gladdened that they are saying that the military will only be a last resort. And because the IGP is the Commander-in-Chief of the National Election Security Task Force, it is only the IGP that can order a military intervention. And we are ready to cooperate and work with the security agencies.
The hope of all the political parties is that the Ghana Police Service will take their concerns on board and work hand in hand with them as well as the other stakeholders to address them to ensure a peaceful election 2024. Reporting from the police headquarters here in Accra, my name is James Aveji for Joy News.
Well, staying on that beat, the Central Regional Police Command has announced plans to appoint liaison officers as intermediaries between the police and the media during the 2024 general election. The initiative is to facilitate smooth communication, ensure accurate information and dissemination, and address potential concerns on security issues. Now, speaking at a press briefing in Cape Coast, the Regional Police Commander, DCOP Kofi Addo, emphasized the critical role of the media in maintaining peace and order during elections.
I called for us to share a few information about what is expected of the media as we embark on this upcoming election. The command is saying that we are going to have a liaison officers which will be appointed from the police intelligence unit that will liaise with the media, so that in case you have any concerns, any security issues, the media will channel it through the appointed liaison officer, which is the PID personnel, so that he or she will share the information with the regional command. We don't want a situation where the media will take the law into its own hands, try to address some of the security issues by itself. Rather, what we expect is that if you have any security concern, please share it or discuss it with the liaison officer, after which he or she will also communicate same to the regional command. Then based on that, we can also inform the national headquarters. Again, we're going to have accreditation. And the accreditation will be given by the EC. So any media house, that is the identified media we have in the region here, if you don't have that accreditation, please, we don't want you to come here and then start speculating false information. In as much as we want to have a very peaceful exercise, we want the election to be very peaceful. We entreat all politicians not to engage any macho men in and around the voting centers. Security of the election rests solely on the police, not even on the military. So please, every politician who tries to come around with any macho men will deal with those macho men.
And of course, that takes us out of our election headquarters. Now, in our next story, the Foreign Affairs Minister, Shirley Ayoko-Botchwey, has directed diplomatic missions in Ghana to regularize their properties to encroachment by private individuals. This follows the demolition of an uncompleted building on a property of the Nigerian High Commissioner by armed men in Accra 4 years ago. Speaking during a ceremony to hand over the reconstructed structure to the Nigerian authorities, the Foreign Affairs Minister said the government of Ghana was committed to providing a safe space for international missions in Ghana. There's more in this report.
20th of November 2024, when a group of unknown private developers invaded the residential quarters of the Nigerian High Commission at Osu in Accra and pulled down this structure belonging to the government of Nigeria under the cover of darkness. This single incident almost jeopardized the long-standing relations between Ghana and Nigeria. However, 4 years down the line, the government of Ghana has delivered on its promise and is handing over a reconstructed facility to the Nigerian authorities.
The reconstructed building represents more than just a physical structure. It embodies the spirit of cooperation and mutual respect that defines our relationship. This explains why the Nigeria High Commission has remained silent on compensation for the huge financial loss it incurred due to the demolished building. As we receive this reconstructed building, we are reaffirming our commitment to strengthen our diplomatic ties, enhancing economic cooperation, as well as mutual understanding between our two countries.
Although the government of Ghana stands by its condemnation for the destruction of the diplomatic property, Foreign Minister Shirley Ayoko-Botchwey believes the situation could have been averted if the Nigerian High Commission had registered the diplomatic property. She's advising all other foreign missions to do so.
I also would like to take this opportunity to advise that diplomatic missions who are resident in Ghana from time to time take a look at their documents to ensure that their documents are properly registered and regularized. I say this because it was one of the issues that we found out when this issue occurred. And it's not an excuse, and it can never be an excuse for the unfortunate demolition that occurred.
Ghana has enjoyed healthy relations with Nigerians and
Well, let's talk health now, as authorities in the Ashanti region say their efforts to prevent cholera outbreaks in the region have been positive. The region is yet to record a case after 16 suspected cases returned negative. Regional Health Director Dr. Fred Adomako-Boateng insists nobody will die of cholera in the Ashanti region as his outfit strengthens surveillance and treatment regimes for cholera. Oheming Teria has more in this report.
Central, Western and Greater Accra regions have recorded fatal cholera cases, while the Central region has recorded 7 deaths out of 47 cases as of November 19, 2024. Greater Accra has had 66 confirmed cases with 7 deaths, but the Ashanti region is yet to record a case as all 16 cases sent for testing returned negative. Health authorities believe measures, including increased public education, surveillance and allocation of dedicated health facilities to treat cholera cases at the district level have yielded positive results. Dr. Fred Domi-Kwabenya is the Ashanti Regional Health Director.
Our target is that even when they get it, they should be able to know as early as possible and come to the facility, and so they are managed. That is the target. We are praying and we are putting in a lot of measures, one, so that it doesn't. But should any person get cholera, our target is that nobody should die from cholera. And how are we trying to achieve this? One, we have discussed with all district directors and all medical soups in the region. And then we have designated one particular area in the district, whenever anybody in the community is having signs and symptoms of cholera, we don't want the person to be roaming from facility to facility. We want these people to go to this place where people are really trained and they can manage. There are two advantages in this. They don't spread the disease because they are not roaming from one facility to another. And secondly, they go to a facility where these people have been managing this cholera, and therefore, over time, they would have built expertise. We are also engaging chemical sellers and other pharmacy shops that look. In this time, people will be coming a lot, and they will be presenting with these acute diarrhea episodes. This is not a time to be giving them Imodium. This is not a time to straight away be giving the medicines that will stop the diarrhea. These are times that you link up with other facilities within your district to make sure that these cases are referred to designated areas. When we do this, there are two things that we are trying to achieve. One, prevent transmission. And then two, we make sure that we reduce the case fatality rate so that nobody should die from cholera.
The announcement comes as health authorities commence phase 2 of the polio vaccination drive. The 4-day campaign, which will kick off on November 21, 2024, is targeting vaccination of over 1 million children in the region. Dr. Domi-Kwabenya explains why every child must be covered in this campaign.
The need for this campaign is to ensure that we vaccinate at least 95% of children in the country. And when it comes to Ashanti region, we are looking at a population of 1,042,361. I must say that the last campaign, Ashanti region, we did extremely well. And we were able to capture more than 95% of these targeted children. Notwithstanding, we have some challenges in some of the districts that we are going to deal with this time.
Meanwhile, the Health Directorate is encouraging residents to support all health activities. From Kumasi, for Joy News, Oimintiria reporting.
Now, the headmaster of the Wa Senior High School, Alhaji Adam Idrisu, has raised concerns about the school's inadequate infrastructure, which is struggling to accommodate its growing student population of approximately 2,700. He highlighted that facilities such as dormitories, assembly halls, and dining hall were stretched to their limits. The school urgently requires an 18-unit classroom block, a dining hall to seat all students, and a dormitory with a capacity of 800 students. Alhaji Idrisu made these remarks during a ceremony where the 1989 year group handed over a renovated classroom block to the school. Joy News' Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam reports from Wa.
Various year groups of all students of Wa Senior High School, Wasosa, over the years have not turned their back to the school upon completion. Many of the year groups have one activity or the other that they are executing at the school aimed at complementing the effort of the authorities, by extension, the government. Wasosa 1989 year group, for example, has undertaken several activities at the school, including the donation of sporting equipment. The latest project embarked on by the 1989 year group is the rehabilitation of the school's Block E, which was in deplorable state and as a result not conducive for learning. Communications Director of Wasosa 1989 year group, Ibrahim Seidu Bomanjo, threw further light on their activities, urging other year groups to emulate their example.
When we started, we had some few enthusiastic members who were eager, always asking, what is going on, and they were contributing. We said, Kitwabia and Swa. There are those who give us 50 cities, 100 cities, and even less. But the truth of the matter is, we needed to be honest. Honesty is the hallmark of this life. So the little we gathered, we contributed and made sure that this thing was a reality. At the end of the day, we were able to raise 56,274 Ghana cedis to 29%.
Headmaster of Wasina High School, Alhaji Idrisu Adam Tedman, whilst commending was also 89, calls for speedy completion of the 2,000-seater ultra-modern auditorium funded by the Office of the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Sumana Kinsport Babin. Beyond the ultra-modern auditorium, Alhaji Idrisu Tedman has another plea for the government and benevolent organizations to take care of the 2,700 students expected in the school.
Now, the Canoe and Fishing Gear Owners Association of Ghana has called on the Fisheries Commission to blend indigenous knowledge with scientific research in its fisheries management plan. The association has submitted recommendations to the Parliamentary Select Committee on Food, Agriculture and Cocoa Affairs, stressing the inclusion of sustainable development in the Draft Food and Aquaculture Development Bill 2024. Now, speaking at the 2024 World Fishing Day in the Western region, the association's president, Najeeb Yakubu, urged fishers to embrace insurance and pension schemes for a secure future. There's more in this report.
The fishermen gathered to celebrate the World Fishing Day. It was a big day to ponder and reflect on the challenges, prospects, and some of the key decisions that ought to be taken. The Canoe and Fishing Gear Owners Association of Ghana tabled several recommendations to be included in the Draft Food and Aquaculture Development Bill. Najeeb is the president of the association.
As an association, we brought together fishery stakeholders to deliberate on Ghana's artisanal fishery sector, to deliberate on the challenges and the contribution of the sector, and to deliberate on the future of Ghana's small-scale fisheries sector. It is important to note that CAFGWAG has submitted a number of recommendations to the Parliamentary Committee on Food, Agriculture and Cocoa Affairs on the Draft Fisheries and Aquaculture Bill 2024. Particularly, CAFGWAG is recommending that sustainable development of small-scale fisheries is included in the object of the Commission. CAFGWAG is recommending that the Fisheries Commission relies not only on science, but also on indigenous knowledge and traditional practices in preparation of fisheries management plans. Today, we have appealed to fishers to embrace insurance policies, to embrace pension scheme, to embrace cooperative societies among fishers, to be able to promote the welfare of fishers.
Western Regional Minister Kwabena Ochredaku-Mensah admonished the fishers to eschew tainting the sea with illegalities that destroy their fisheries resources. The plastics that are dumped in the sea, the light fishing, the use of DDT, the use of small-sized fishing nets are all contributing to destroying the fisheries resources.
Let's settle for our business updates now, as the chief executive of the Africa Trade Academy, Dode Seidu, says strong trade facilitation measures will effectively enhance the country's competitiveness in international trade. This, he says, will boost intra-trade activities as well. He spoke to Joy Business at a partnership launch of the Africa Trade Academy and the Forum for International Trade Training.
This partnership between Africa Trade Academy and the Forum for International Trade Training is a partnership to deliver competencies, courses and programs that will build capacity of public and private sector actors in international trade. It's to give people the certification that will make them confident to be involved in global and international trade from Africa. So the partnership between Africa Trade Academy and the Forum for International Trade Training is one that will build capacity when it comes to global trade, which includes the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. What is the big difference here is that because we are Africa Trade Academy, we have special competence in intra-Africa trade topics, including the AFCFTA. And therefore, we're bringing the global certification in international trade and adding the nuances and the specific needs and capacities of intra-Africa trade. So the training would cover the AFCFTA and the topics related to it.
And in our last story, the European Union says it will expand its investment within Ghana's pharmaceutical industry value chain. The EU earlier this year gave a grant of 32 million euros to support vaccine manufacturing and the pharmaceutical industry in Ghana. Meanwhile, EU Ambassador to Ghana, Ircha Razali, said the union was looking forward to assessing the progress and increase investments within the space.
Invested in the private sector to produce vaccines themselves, and this has been launched last year. So there is, as we are speaking, a vaccine unit which is undergoing the works to produce that. Today, what we are launching is an even larger undertaking to create the condition for a sustainable, long-term environment to make this vaccine and medicine producing endeavor sustainable on the long run in Ghana. Because it's not only about assembling the vaccine here, but it's to creating a full value chain. And this takes a large scope: human resource, education, technology, private sector environment.
Well, it's a wrap for business, and that's how we cap off the AM News this morning. Thank you for watching, but do you want to stay for the news review? Up next. Welcome back. This is the AM show. Time now for our news review, and I have three guests seated this morning. Affail Monney is former president of the Ghana Journalists Association. We also have joining the conversation Kwame Nkrumah, General Secretary of the CPP, and Remy Edmondson, National Secretary of the PPP. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining the conversation. Yes. And yes, God has given us life, so we are well. It's another day. Yeah. So I'll start with your brief thoughts, a minute and a half from each one of you on your reflections on anything topical. I'll start with you, Affail Monney.
As the saying goes, no duty is as urgent as gratitude. So with urgent promptitude, I'd like to pour fulsome praise on the IGP for assuring media personnel of protection at their media houses. He's promised to station police officers at all the media houses. This is something we had been clamoring for, calling for stridently and consistently. And thank God it will come to fruition. The move by the IGP reignites massive memories of what happened to one of our colleagues, Pius Kwenin. Pius Kwenin was shot in the leg at the last election during the collation at the collation center at Matayiko. He had been operated upon 5 times, and he's been told that he needs another operation for bone surgery, and it will cost him 220,000 Ghana cedis. Pius should serve as a blazing beacon, warning journalists not to fall victim to violence, harassment in their line of duty. They should internalize and reflect safety standards, particularly the UN guidelines on safety of journalists. Their lives are more important than the stories they cover. We also appeal to authorities to ensure that no journalist suffers what Kwenin is going through. Kwenin needs 2 crutches to move his body. He's been compelled to truncate his education at GIJ. He was a student at level 300. Now he cannot go to school. He used to work at Newswatch, Global Newswatch portal. He's now unemployed.
In other words, his entire life has come to a standstill.
His entire life is now in limbo. And this is very, very serious. The case has been dragging for 4 good years now. And if the dictum that justice delayed is justice denied is ringing hollow as far as this case is concerned. This is not to compare this with the Supreme Court, but it has been indicated that the apex court can move with supersonic speed to flex its constitutional supremacy in certain matters. So this is an issue the judiciary should take with all seriousness so that justice is done to this poor boy.
All right. Let me come to you, Kwame Kwababotio. Please, let's make the comments a bit brief.
Thank you. I would say that Mr. Monney has taken the words out of my mouth. I was at the briefing by the IGP, Dr. George Akuffo-Dampare, yesterday. And indeed, I felt very proud to be a Ghanaian. He indeed is a father figure. From beginning to end, he gave us full confidence that we're going to have a peaceful election as long as we cooperate. And cooperation means that we, the political actors, because at the end of the day, it boils down to us. Our father, the IGP, has shown the way. We should tone down of insightful utterances. As the Bible says, the tongue is a very small thing, but it can set a whole forest on fire. There have been various press conferences by the NDC and the NPP. Certain names of security personnel have been mentioned, putting their lives in danger. I hear they've submitted petitions to the CDS and the IGP. I believe that both political parties should have submitted their petitions and waited for the outcome before putting these security personnel on both sides putting their lives in danger. And the thing is that the foot soldiers do not understand, or even when you come out to say that your allegations are unfounded, it will be too little, too late. So that is what I have in mind. That let's all take the advice that the Inspector General of Police has given. We have full confidence in him and the police service. Let us do our part as politicians, because the citizens are, I would say, they are innocent partakers. When 2 elephants fight, it is the grass that suffers. So I call on all my fellow politicians, my fellow political parties that let's tone down on our utterances. We have only one Ghana.
All right, Remy Edmondson.
Yes, and in the run-up to the upcoming parliamentary elections, the National Commission for Civic Education has been organizing a series of parliamentary candidates dialogues across the 275 constituencies. And this is more or less a debate platform for parliamentary candidates to be able to share their take on specific areas that the NCC conducted a survey on issues that concern voters the most. And they highlighted the topmost 6 concerns being education, health, economy, agriculture, and others. So basically, every candidate is given the platform to speak on this issue, what they're going to do when they come to office. I've seen that, I don't know if they have taken off, but what I'm seeing, and I want to urge the NCC to do more to ensure that it looks like see if they are relying on the political parties to bring in their people to get a crowd for these events. But these events are not really for the political parties or their agents, but for the ordinary Ghanaians, the ordinary citizens who need to listen to these parliamentary hopefuls. And so it's a good initiative. I'll urge all Ghanaians, those who are yet to have theirs, to ensure that when the date is announced, they go in their numbers. Yesterday I had mine at Domi-Kwabenya, and incidentally, it just happened that I have
you are contesting in that constituency,
yes,
you know.
Yes, but I happen to be the sole participant of the program because my other colleagues failed to show up. But nevertheless, we still had a program. So I want to commend the NCC for this program, but they need to do a lot more to sensitize the constituents in every locality they are going to do this to make sure that they get the real benefit of this program to come. listen to it.
All right, we'll get into the papers shortly, but Affail Monney, quick thoughts. You see, while the IGP talks about the media and protecting us, which is the right thing to do, and we've had lapses in the past, including with Ahmed Hussein Swali, there are some media practitioners, like yesterday my attention was drawn to this Wuntumi journalist, who has been spewing certain things. You've heard.
Yeah. Yeah.
First off, when the balloting happened, suggesting that if you wanted to, and mind you, this is disinformation. And what I'm saying, what he said is not the truth, but I'm just saying what he said. That if you wanted to vote for number 8, you would have to vote from numbers 1 to 8. So you would thumbprint 1, 2, 3, 4.
Really?
And some gullible people may fall for that through no fault of theirs. Then a recent one, and I've seen the video, he says there are going to be 2 days of voting. Day 1, which is the 7th, it's going to be only numbers 1 to 7 that people will vote for. And then day 2, which doesn't exist. Then, you see, how can someone like that, and you see, it doesn't make sense to me that someone can say that and get away with it. The EC has been petitioned, according to what Nanaya Sapong told me. The Ghana Police Service is in the know. The different strokes for different folks and the hypocrisy of our system. Imagine if I had said that. Do you know what would happen?
Certainly, the law would have.
So what is happening to this person? So while we say these things, when people do such nonsensical things, they have to be called to order.
Certainly, yes. Certainly, yes. So this should serve as a reminder to authorities to act with all swiftness and boldness, regardless of who's asked his word.
Right. Let's quickly get into the papers, and I'll start with you. You have the Custodian newspaper. I saw an interesting story about latest credible survey.
I think that's
I like how it was captioned, not the name of the survey, but latest credible survey.
Well, let me start with that. I think it's in the Custodian
newspaper. Let's get into it.
Okay, so I have here the government inaugurates 80 education projects in a day. Wow, that's a lot of work. Razak Kojo Opoku writes, Alan is wrong, Kufuor is right. Bawumia is best man for the presidency. And then, yes, headline story, latest credible survey, MPP to win 148 seats. Bawumia leads Mahama with 3.3%. And that story is on page 3. And then Tanzanian energy regulators steady MPA's operations. And then the National Election Security Task Force meets political parties.
The Tanzanians will come here like other African countries do. They will come and learn from us and have systems working better than ours that they came to learn from. That's what we are known for.
Yeah, so maybe I may just...
Go right ahead into the stories you want to delve into very quickly.
Okay, so let me look at, I'll take the education projects. President Addo Akufo-Addo yesterday led a combination of 80 completed education projects across all 16 regions. Yeah, so I think I'll take this. I'm seeing here that some of them are STEM schools. The STEM schools include the Pasenpe Model STEM SHS at West Mampusi, Awaso Model STEM SHS in BBN area, and a host of others. And then some are 2-unit kindergarten blocks. Some are also 3-unit GSS classroom blocks, and then finally 6-unit classroom blocks. Well, I'm happy to see the STEM schools that have been set up. I mean, I keep saying that our education policy really needs to be readjusted, refocused, to be fit for purpose, to ensure that we prepare our young ones, our students, to be ready for, I mean, the current era we are in. We need to ensure that along the educational chain, there are really modern courses and subjects that people are being taught. We need to ensure that teachers themselves are properly resourced, properly catered to be able to deliver to these students. It's my hope. I mean, we know we have a very poor culture of maintenance in this country. And I'm just hoping that, I mean, these facilities, these STEM schools most likely would have been built with some facilities in them for the students to use. But I'm just hoping that they'll be maintained very properly, because often that's one aspect that we overlook. In a year's time, whatever equipment or gadgets are in there will just be damaged, yes, and destroyed for good. I think those are the key headlines from this paper here.
Okay.
Let me go to...
Can we know which outfits conducted the latest credible survey?
Yes, the one and only Professor Smart Sapon.
Professor Smart Sapon again of KTU, I
think.
Yes.
So
so which
his research is the only credible one. On what basis? I don't know on what basis it's credible, and of course I know who they are jabbing by this headline. But
I see.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And then we have a Ghanaian publisher. Also says, the same story. Baumia 49.1%, Mahama 45.8%, which is suggestive of a runoff in latest poll. Akufo Addo leads nationwide commissioning of 80 educational projects. The same Tanzanian energy regulators in Ghana. So I think with the publishers, there's actually some statistics provided. I mean, yes, Professor Sapon goes ahead to predict an overall 81.4% turnout. And so Alan is projected to get 1.2%. Nana Kwame Bediako projected to get 2.2%, and all the other candidates together, a total of 1.7%. And then for the projected parliamentary results, MPP likely to get 128, likely MPP 41, likely NDC 15, and NDC 92. Wow. NHIA to introduce preventive health care. Preventive health care will from next year be part of the health insurance benefits under the NHIS scheme. Dr. Costa Boaji, Chief Executive of the NHI, has announced. And so under the initiative, the subscribers to the NHI will have the opportunity to go for basic health checks annually, which will be covered by this.
So maybe let's do that as a final story, and then we can move on to other topics.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so that looks interesting. Again, I mean, it's a fact that we need to expand our NHIS coverage significantly,
right?
Particularly to cover those on the borderline, the poverty borderline, the marginalized. So it's a good call, but as to whether it will actually be implemented, because we've seen what is happening. We all embrace the news about the dialysis proposals very, very positively, but it doesn't look like that's also going anywhere soon. So, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with this election, whether this government will be retained, and if even this government is retained. I mean, yes, the party will be retained, but I think this is not going to be his personal. It's going to be a policy of the NHIS.
Right.
And so, if he leaves office after this year ends, this government ends, I'm just hoping that the next administration of the NHI will take up this initiative and make sure that they properly implement it. Yeah.
Kwame Nkrumah, quickly through your papers.
Okay. First of all, I want to look at the road crashes scale 2038 in 10 months. Every once in a while.
This is the news center.
The news center. This issue comes up. And as much as it's about a large number of factors, driver, inexperience, and all that, I believe that the state of...
And sometimes, let's face it, plain stupidity.
Yes.
This morning I saw again, I don't know why you are at, let's say, a T-junction. We are right-hand, so you drive to the right-hand side of the road. You are veering into a turn, but when you are veering, you want to go into the left. Do you get it?
Yeah.
They turn from the left, they veered into where an incoming car from the other side would use, just this morning.
Oh.
Every day I encounter that, and I don't get why. And taxi drivers, especially trot drivers, and sometimes people driving private cars. It doesn't make any sense. You are in your lane. When you are turning, that is where, don't you realize you could crash into another, like an incoming car?
Exactly.
It's so stupid.
Exactly.
And they'll berate you rather.
And you rather will become...
They'll berate you rather for.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's. I believe it's quite a high number. It's a high number, and these are more than 2,000 people who could have been assets to, or are assets to this country, could have contributed to its development. Therefore, we should still have our attention on the causes of these road crashes, including the state of our roads. And in extension, I would want to say that the NPP government, as much as I'm always criticizing them, it is a good thing that they have finally opened the Flowerpot flyover. It's a road I use often, and it has indeed reduced the traffic. But the question is, why do they repeatedly have these massive road projects in election years. We had the Circle Dubai and the Mahama.
Kojo Ponkroma, the Minister for Works and Housing, you know, people have been saying that, because it's close to the elections, they are commissioning projects left, right, and center. And he says, no, it is not really the case. But you are the politicians. You know.
Yes, and I remember during my student years, I was doing what you call international learning work in the UK. I was working for a Nigerian businessman. We used to go out a lot, and every day there was. I mean, those who've traveled to the UK know about bus diversions and this everyday roadworks. So I pointed out to him that it is very commendable that they do roadworks throughout, 24/7, all the time, improving their road network. And well, he said that it's because that is where their political parties get their money. But I believe whether it is where their political parties get their money or not, the developed countries do not wait for election years before they do these projects. And we should take a leaf from them and then do so accordingly.
Okay.
And secondly, also, we have the influx of firearms, which I've seen in a large number of papers, and it's something that...
Is it the recent cash at the port?
Yes. It's a cause for great concern, and even if it's for private use. Ghana is not the United States.
But even if it's for private use, you don't hide it in a whatever container and bring it. There are mechanisms of bringing that into the country.
Exactly. We don't want something like that. And to hammer on something that Remy has already said, there are 80 modern educational facilities. It's also good, anything that benefits the populace. But the fact that 80 is a huge number. To be launched at this point, it gives credence to the fact that we wait for election years before we give the citizens what they deserve, and that should stop. And another story in my papers is about MTN winning Africa Telco of the Year. I think it's a good thing. They've done a good job, and various companies and even the governments as well should look at the way companies like MTN do their business, the way they are structured, the way they are organized, and try and follow suit, and it will benefit all of us. And also,
because of time,
my last story. Also, with the poll, Bawumia 49, Mahama 45, which means there's the likelihood of a runoff. I think it's a testament to the fact that Ghanaians are fed up with the two big parties and should look towards the incrementized parties like PPP, CPP, PNC, and of course, my brother here, Remy, I would urge everyone at Domi-Kwabenya to vote for him. He's a man of very good material. He's not a member of my party, but I would urge people to vote for him. And this year, we have the CPP being the only incrementized party on the ballot. And I would urge all Ghanaians to vote for the CPP in order to kick the NPDC and MPP out.
Right. So you've combined the two papers, right? You're done with both the News Center and the Ghanaian Times. Let me come to
Affail Monney. I just wanted to touch on the road crashes. Just a take.
Briefly.
Yeah, that apart from the deplorable roads that are sometimes contributing factors, it's also a fact that our vehicle driver licensing regime needs to be looked at and overhauled. We all know that, look, every day you go to Circle, you find police officers, stopping the drivers and at other places demanding license which they don't have and ultimately extorting money from them and before they let them go. Even the same goes for some private individuals as well. This is a fact. And most Ghanaians take public transport, either trotters or taxis, to work. So indirectly, we all see this and we overlook it, but we are indirectly condoning, some of these actions, because if a driver is not properly licensed, it means that he doesn't really know what the rules and regulations. So he's going to just drive from his store what he or she thinks should be the way to go. So that's something I'll give a call to the DVLA.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Addressed by
Affail Monney.
The Daily Guide is leading with the prediction by Professor Smart Sapon that Bawumia is winning the election by 49.1%, Mahama 45.8%. And this latest...
And please qualify it. That is according to these papers, the latest credible survey.
The latest
credible
survey,
Professor Smart Sapon.
And
I guess Fitch and Global Info Analytics and others will.
Exactly.
You know what's interesting for me about the politicians? When it favors them, especially with the foreign ones, Fitch, oh, it's very credible. When it doesn't favor them, oh, some things are not going. Please go.
So before this one, we had one from Institute of Good Governance, which also predicted that Bawumia was going to win the election by 50.48%. And then Global Info Analytics maintains that Bawumia is winning one touch. And then Fitch says it will be a close contest, but Bawumia will win. And then Economic Intelligence Unit also predicts that Bawumia will win one touch. I believe that the best validation of all these polls will happen in 2 weeks' time, barely 2 weeks' time at the polls.
But that validation will only happen if the elections are free, fair, transparent. There's not coercion. I mean, per Cordeo's report, yes, there are attempts to abuse incumbency, there are attempts to buy votes and all of that. I believe there's Ashanti, Savannah, and Western per that report, among others. For me, I've always said that I don't really mind. People deserve the leaders they get, but allow them to vote and have their say. Don't intimidate. Don't prevent people from exercising the franchise. Don't coerce. Don't buy. You get it. If the right things are done and the people vote in a certain direction, we all stick to it. But if that is not done, that is where what the IGP was saying.
Yeah.
That is where problems arise. So.
Ben, a Malian proverb has said that one finger cannot wash the face. So certainly no one institution can ensure free, credible, violence-free elections. It will take the collective effort of all Ghanaians to ensure that the polls are credible and the outcome will be acceptable by all Ghanaians. So it's a collective victory. It's a clarion call to all of us, especially the media, to shine our eyes, to preen our ears, to focus, sharpen our focus on whatever will happen between now and election. The freeness and fairness of election are not determined by what happens on polling day. All the processes should pass the test of credibility, acceptability, and fairness and what have you. So this is the time for all of us to ensure that Ghanaians' will prevail at the polls. It is in our interest to ensure that the elections are free and fair. Anyone who will try to skew the outcome in the wrong direction will plunge this whole nation into a disaster.
Okay. And is there another paper you have?
The IGP statement that election is not war, and that all the parties should prepare for two outcomes.
Right.
Either victory or defeat. I think this will lodge in the memories of all political parties and their candidates, because if you go with the idea that yours is to win at all costs, I believe if the opposite happens, you'll be compelled to do something untoward. The Daily Searchlight lists with a scandal saying that mining companies engage in widespread human rights abuses, and it's quoting a report. And we are also told that a lady has sued a police service and the AG over brutality. And the court to deliver judgments on J.B. Dankwa Edu's murder case on 4th December. This case has been dragging for far too long. This MP was killed under the most brutal circumstances. And the law has been dragging its feet. So this is the time for us to wait with bated breath to ensure that what comes out will put a seal on the matter. Right. Yeah, these are the important stories. Other stories are inconsequential as far as our circumstances are concerned. Yeah.
All right. I will cap it off with the Daily Graphic newspaper. Keta constituency, a safe haven for the NDC. COA Global Peace Mission unveils blueprint on sustainable peace. Professor Samuel Otto Duncan, he was here in the studio with me after the launch, talking about peace in the world, but peace starting from Ghana and ahead of the 2024 elections. EC destroys defective ballot papers for Ahafo and Volta regions. And of course, that's going to cost us. And I don't know whether you were with us that day, but someone asked, so what is going to happen to that printing house?
Was it their fault?
And even if this had not been seen, the NDC claimed that they brought it up before the EC saw it. The EC said it had seen it on its own, discovered. But imagine if this had been undetected ahead of election day. Imagine the chaos. So I've gone to vote, but all of a sudden, my vote is not valid. The serial number, what happens? Are people going to vote on a different... I mean, can you imagine the chaos? So we really have to get this right. And even this is what we know. This is what we know. Ahafo and Volta, what we know. What if there are others we don't... I mean, I just pray and hope that we get it right. Seriously. President inaugurates 80 education projects. On the back page, Regeg donates to support skin NTDs, peer groups. African countries must enact climate change laws. That's according to some experts. There's a story on page 18, actually page 26. Don't deploy military to polling stations, ACP Agojo. So the coordinator of the 2016 National Security Election Task Force, Assistant Commissioner of Police, retired Dr. Benjamin Kwesi Agojo, has called on the government and the Inspector General of Police to refrain from deploying the military to polling stations, saying the police are capable of managing security at those locations. This is something that came up in that interaction yesterday. GFA to decide Otto Addo's fate next week. You know, we're a very funny country. I'll leave it there. Especially when, and what's his name? Is it Sheena or Shaween or something? The manager of the Black Stars. I still feel so upset, the angst, when he comes through to say, Ghanaians are emotional. We are attaching emotions to the matter. Football is emotional. Someone should tell him. I think he's a little deluded. I'm sorry, but someone should tell him that football is about emotion. When you see people run onto a pitch, when you see people, I have seen people on the back of, which year was it? I was at the University of Ghana. Someone had a car crash out of, I think it was the 2014 World Cup. You know, I was there doing something. I mean, it is emotion. And in any case, you're trying to tell me that, oh, they played so well, but they did not win the matches. That's why they had 3 wins and 3 draws. And I would ask him respectfully, what is the goal of throwing our money in there for them to get all the perks, including technical people, some of whom are not doing much, and who are getting the same $100,000 or so that footballers who are on the pitch killing themselves are getting. Lack of coordination and all of that. And then you come and tell me that, oh, they played so well, but they didn't win. What is the end game of football? I mean, it's some of these people, I think they should just keep quiet sometimes.
Certainly.
But I think, I don't know whether I heard something about it. I think they've been, exactly.
But I mean...
So I would say good riddance. I'll not at the end, but good riddance.
The reform should start from the top. I mean, the president, Keto Kriku himself and his team needs to really take responsibility for this. And we need to see...
what about the sports minister?
Well,
the National Sports Authority, though the board chair of the NSA has said that Otto Addo should go. And Otto Addo himself, I have no problems. First, there are political influences in our football that we must get rid of. But Otto Addo, I think, he misspeaks. He doesn't know how to talk well. I don't know whether it's the German influence and so when he speaks English sometimes, but sometimes what he communicates and what the media picks and puts out. These are things that you probably shouldn't be saying. You are dealing with, we're paying you $50,000 a month. Don't come and act like you are insulting us.
Having trained under certain, some the names, that doesn't come in at all. Yes, but I think what we need, apart from the resolution, I mean, we need a proper blueprint from the GFA. Our coach, you remember back in several years ago, we used to have very entertaining football. There was coach soccer, a system which was grooming youngsters, picking our secondary schools and other were feeding grounds for our professional clubs, right? And then they could pick from the national level. But this is no more.
But it was really a class as well as in Tamale Secondary School.
Yes.
You
understand? So we need a proper blueprint to revive our nation. I mean, this
we've been talking about this blueprint.
I see this as a knee-jerk
for forever. You see, we have to face this realistically. We used to have coach football. Right? The days of the Yayas and all of those. Look at even the early 90s, and then when we started winning trophies at the youth fronts, Awudu Isaka and all those
Now we don't even qualify.
There was something happening which generated those, which the European teams, look, Spain, people are looking at their setup, they are winning everything. From World Cup to European this to all of that. But if you go and look at their systems, even so female football, they are winning. Male football, they are winning. It didn't just happen. The youth football is there. That is what has created Lamine Yamal. You get it? It doesn't, you don't just get up, oh, I want to be a broadcaster. You sit on your derrière, as the French will say, and keep hoping and praying. You do nothing about that. You're not building any skills. You are not adding on to anything. Maybe for some, it may be to go to journalism school. And then you think out of the blue, you'll be handpicked to be the, broadcaster. It doesn't happen like that. It doesn't.
And I know there are clubs. I mean, in the European clubs also have their youth wings. Yes. Where they're picking youngsters as young as 10 and 12. And they are groomed so they are picked into
France. And here, if we do that, those that are not existent in terms of a proper code system, but you would see that it is some foreign-based team or something comes to set up a camp here in their own interest.
I've seen one around Accra or Juventus Youth Academy.
In their own interest. So when anything happens there, they have invested in the people. They have the rights. You know how football works now. Sometimes way back, you have a Liberty Professionals benefiting from maybe, is it Michael Essien? Some of these players because of, So they are doing that in their interest. But we don't have a system. We are systemless. And people talk about the local, let's bring in some players from Accra, Hartsville, Kotoko, and all these players. There's no system. There's no system.
The structure is deficient or non-existent.
So that's what I want to see from the GFA. I mean, I see that they are just sacrificing this team just to appease the Ghanaian population. But I mean, the real systematic problem is still underlining. And
what do you think? Should we retain Otto Addo?
I don't think it's a problem with Otto Addo because, mind you, we've had a string of these poor performances in the last 2 or 3 coaches we've had. So we've had poor performances. But if you look at the tail of the tape, I think between I can get there on 6 consecutive occasions. We went to the semis. Okay. Then from 2018, things started dropping. Then, that's what
group stages, and now not even qualifying.
Mind you, it's all taking place in this particular administration. That's what I'm talking about. It's all happening within this particular GFA administration. So I think it goes beyond the coach.
It does. For me, but the question is, you see, we keep pussyfooting sometimes. I feel that the entire setup has a problem.
Right.
From Kato Kraku. Right. To the vice groups and all those ex-con or whatever they call themselves.
So long as we allow
there are fundamental
allowing football team owners or managers to be on a black, it's a problem. It's conflict of interest. That's one of the key problems I see. It should be. I mean, there's no way I own a football club and I'm on the Black Stars Management Committee. I will interfere with player selection. And what's his name? One of the recent coaches, it wasn't Kwesiapia, Siki Akuno. Just a few days ago.
Yeah, he said it.
Yes, he stopped short of. But he said that yes, he confirmed the interference. Said that he always had problems. That was the word he used, the phrase he used. Like, it was always a problem for him. He had it tough justifying his player selections. What he doesn't want to say is the fact that yes, it means that he's being questioned about why didn't you take this player? Why didn't you take that player? If the coach doesn't have the free hand to select the players he feels he needs to. So I don't think it's the coach. I'm
not saying it's just the coach.
Right.
I feel the coach himself has problems.
I was answering your question. I don't think he should be. It's the system in which he's operating that needs to be revamped. Yes, and looked at.
But he's not communicating that.
I think the coach and the system, GFA, are not fit for purpose. The situation calls for radical surgery. And this will mean pushing out GFA, Keto Kreku and his team. Otto Addo lacks the confidence to lead the national team. And he doesn't communicate confidence.
I don't see him to be... You see, there are the Jose Mourinho's and the Pep Guardiolas who are of a certain...
class,
I wouldn't say temperamental, but excitable character. And then there are the Sir Alex Fergusons and some others. Alex Ferguson, back then, I remember, he would be chewing gum. He would probably give instructions, go and sit down and chew gum the entire match.
Yeah.
You know, he's told you what to do.
Yeah.
Stick to the plan. But like you said, from the first stint to the World Cup to now, I look at Otto Addo, and like I say these things, I'm not emotional about them. I don't care who he is, where he's from, how much he's earning. That's not my problem. But sometimes when I observe him, I don't get that. That I'm sorry that he's on top of business. That you know the players. There are some coaches, even managers, that a player does something and looks at the coach makes an eye or something, and they immediately know what to do. I don't know, but I just don't read those signals from our team.
No.
And it's problematic. It's really problematic. Because look, like it or not, in some of Ghana's most depressing times, sometimes it is sports that gives
it is sports,
joy.
exactly.
I mean, you are turning off my light every now and then. The cost of living is excruciating. So many things. At least give me some joy with
Exactly.
It's a real unifier.
That's very
real unifier.
It's the heartbeat of the nation.
And if you look at the US, Russia, even China now, they've invested a lot in their sports and the Olympics.
Indeed.
And it helps to foster that patriotism, which moves the country forward. If you neglect your sports sector, the patriotism will go down. Nothing will work. Nothing will work. I think it should be given the needed attention.
Well, gentlemen, grateful as always that you've been able to join the conversation. But let me salute that fine gentleman who always makes me look fine. As you can see, another product from Mudasiru of Siru Africa. And if you'd like this or something similar, interestingly, his prices are very reasonable. Just reach out to him. You can call him on 0557 029 138. 0557 029 138. On social media, it's at SIRU-Africa, all small letters, Siru-Africa. And that is Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. We have to go. Any final words? 10 seconds. You can sell your parties if you want. 10 seconds. Let's go.
Yeah, so December 7th, Domi-Kwabenya. I'm number 4 on the ballot. Vote Remy Parker Edmondson Parliament.
Thank you very much. Remy Edmondson, number 4. Domi-Kwabenya.
As a fellow Nkrumahist, I would say that all Nkrumahists, all supporters of other parties, vote for Remy at Domi-Kwabenya.
Thank you.
Vote for Nana Akosua from Poma Sapon Komankoma as president.
As presidential candidate. You are not a politician.
Baumia and Mahama have a date with destiny in 2 weeks' time. May the best win.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Grateful for your time this morning. Up next, we serve you Prime Take with Muftau Nabila Abdullahi. He always has exciting stuff for you. You want to stay for today's conversation. After which, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be sharing, let me just let you know, over the next 3 Fridays, I'm going to be sharing my Manifesto series, helping you read between the lines ahead of election 2024. So today I give you part 1 for my blunt thoughts. Over the next 3 weeks, it's very difficult. I, together with my team, we've streamlined key sectors of our national life and looked at the manifestos of the MPP and the NDC and put them side by side. We're going to do that for you so that you can read between the lines. So today, next Friday, and then the Friday before Election Day, Saturday. That's what we're going to be doing. Stay for all of these. Prime Take is next.
In 2017, I was at the Ghana Man Soccer Center of Excellence, where one of Ghana's junior national teams was preparing for the FIFA Under-17 World Cup, which was going to take place in India. One of the players who was part of that setup, put together by then coach Pakwesi Feben, now plies his trade for Niger. The obvious question many people would be asking is, why did you start your footballing journey with the Ghana in mind, and all of a sudden you've switched to play for Niger. And in fact, when Niger came to Ghana, played the Black Stars at the Accra Sports Stadium on Monday, November 18, 2024, they won that tie by 2-1. And guess what? The moment that second goal entered and the fans of Niger were celebrating, this gentleman, cameras captured him, had his face on the turf, sobbing uncontrollably. From commentary position, the question I asked myself was, could this be tears of joy or tears of disappointment? Today on Prime Take, I'm speaking to Niger right back, Najeeb Yakubu, who was part of Ghana's setup, the last under-17 team to have represented the country at the FIFA under-17 World Cup. Najeeb, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Do you recall that meeting in Prom?
Yeah, I
in
remember.
2017?
Yeah, I do remember. Yeah.
How are you? How is everything?
Oh, so far, so good. We give thanks to the Almighty Allah.
This hair. What is so special about that hair?
It's just part of me. It's just the image and
the brand.
Yeah, the brand. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's a good one. But talk to me. I saw you crying after Niger scored the second goal. Why were you crying?
I think it's emotions, you know. Yeah.
The emotions got the better of you or something.
Yeah.
So were these tears of joy or they were tears of disappointment that?
It's just mixed feelings, tears of joy, tears of disappointment from, we'll get there, so let's.
Can you tell me, where were you born?
Yeah, Accra.
You were born in Accra?
Yeah, Accra, Ghana.
And how would you describe your upbringing as a young man?
It's good. It was quite good, Just most of the time used to play, football.
You were playing football on the street?
Football, a little bit of school. I just love to play, so I enjoyed playing more.
Okay, you enjoy playing football more, but let me get one thing clear. When you were growing up, did you grow up from a well-to-do family, or you grew up from one of those remote backgrounds that you have to strive hard to be able to succeed?
No, I would say we had a quite good life because of my brother and everything, so it was quite good. Everything was okay.
Your brother gave you everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're fortunate.
Thank God, yeah.
I would like to have a brother like your brother.
Yeah.
I would like to have a brother. But where in Accra did you grow up?
Dansuman, Boche, but I used to play around Dansuman, Mamprobi, this side, the beach side or this side. Yeah. That's where, they love so much football, they love football so much. So I used to go to that side and play more. I used to live in Medina and run away from home. So we had this problem, not staying home. That's the problem we had from home, but everything was okay from home, yeah.
There was Bochi,
yeah.
There was Medina,
yeah.
There was Dansuma.
No, I'm just...
why? Your parents, do they have different houses in these areas that you can go there?
Yeah, my brother lives in
Medina,
and my father was in Dansuman, so I used to come to Medina and then go to Dansuman.
And the Bochi, where from that one?
Yeah, it's Medina Bochi, so
were you going to Bochi to go and play football?
It's Medina Bochi, that's where we live. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. And talk to me about running away from home. Were you not told, my friend, stop running away to go and play football?
Yes, many times. At one time, I remember I was in, Mamprobi, and I had a knock on my door. I was surprised, I opened my door, who is here? My brother.
And then how did you know you were there?
I don't know. At one time, I remember I was sick, and my mom came to visit me this day, yeah. So I think she pictured the place. And I was not home, my brother was looking for me. Yeah. I was with these people playing football. And I had a knock on my door. I opened the door.
But did they stress you a bit in terms of?
School, to go to school, but yeah. Because my younger brother now, he's studying now and he's in the UK now, studying. Okay. So they wanted me to go to school, but I also wanted to, play the football.
So like, I
But in a good way, yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah.
But would you say that decision to chase, and before I ask that question of you chasing football over school, at what level did your education go to?
JSS, yeah, and a little bit of SHS, but I couldn't continue because I think we had this tournament, Otto Rising Star. That's where it all started. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah,
Otto Rising Star. Yeah.
In fact, Abagna Sandan is a product of.
Otto Rising Star. Yeah, Abagna. I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how it all started. So from Otto Rising Star to Niger, coming back again to I went to, we'll get there, but I went to...
No, you just tell me the story. Tell me the story now.
From Otto Rising Star, and then went to Niger, also Rising Star, Otto Rising. That's where Niger Dream also started from. Okay. So, but my brother called to stop them from naturalizing me that time. Okay. And he said, come back home. Because I was so young and I was alone there. Okay. So he wasn't feeling comfortable there. So he made me come home, and lucky enough, I had a chance to join the under-17 with Pakosi Fabian, and I always thank him very much for the opportunity he gave me. Yeah.
Where did he discover you?
I think he made a group from this Otto Rising Star, and we came to Pram, and he just selected. And lucky enough, we didn't even play football. It was Janase, and lucky enough, I was part of those.
That's how you grew a selected?
Yeah, the first time. Yeah. We didn't play football. They just watch you. If you're a little bit of, maybe your hair, your body, they say you stand here, you stand here. That's how it all started. Before even playing the football. So we were 5. I was in Unistar then.
Yeah.
5 of
Unistar
us.
Academy?
Yeah, Unistar Academy.
Okay.
So 5 of us went to this academy, Pram. Yeah. And I was the only one who
got there?
Yeah.
That's interesting. You mentioned that you went to JSS and secondary school a bit. Which JSS did you go to?
Jesus is Alive in Dansuman, yeah.
Jesus is Alive?
Yeah, preparatory school, yeah.
And which secondary school?
Ebenezer, but I couldn't continue.
Ebenezer secondary school, also in Dansuman?
Yeah, Dansuman.
Then you were in Dansuman boy?
Dansuman boy, yeah.
You were in Dansuman boy, because I think a chunk of your life was in Dansuman.
Dansuman, half of it
was in Dansuman.
Yeah.
But this football
Dansuman,
dream...
Tunga, and people from Tunga, I greet you.
Oh, really?
Salute you.
Tunga. Just quite close to the Liberty Park.
Yeah, Liberty Park, yeah. Runabout on that side, yeah.
But this football dream or this football desire, how did it all start?
My father was a footballer, and my senior brother was a footballer, and my brothers are footballers, so it's in the blood. So I just saw them play, and I had to also follow the dream.
But your younger brother is in school?
For him, he's different.
He's in school?
Yeah, he's in
He chose school
over
playing football.
Yeah.
But talk to me about that experience of going to, in fact, at the Otto Rising Stars.
Yeah.
How did that mold you to create opportunities for you?
I would say it helped a lot, because without that Otto Rising Star, I don't think I would even get the opportunity to go to the under-17 for me to even get here at the first place. So I would also say thank you to the organization, but firstly, thanks God, thanks Allah for everything.
Yeah, and also getting to Niger, which competition did you?
Yeah, it was the same like Otto Rising Star.
Okay.
Yeah, they had a tournament that was I don't know if it's 2015 or so. Niger was hosting the under-17.
Okay.
So they wanted to make a good team, and
yes, Niger was hosting the under-17 championship in 2015.
2015, I think.
Yes, I remember. Abdul Karim Zito was the coach of that team then.
And there was this white coach. Yeah, he was new white coach. So he saw us in Unistar. Okay. We played, I think, a friendly game against them, and he said no, he wants to take me.
So he took you on?
Yeah, he took me. Then I was there. We played a tournament with a few clubs there, and they said, okay, we want to neutralize you. What do you think? I said, I don't have a problem. I called my brother. But I was so young, so I had to come back.
But around that time, you had a phone?
Yeah, of course.
Najeeb. How can a young man of your age have a phone? Are you a typical Zongo boy?
Ah, Zongo. That's Zongo. 100% Zongo. Proud one. Yeah. Fully Zongo.
There's this perception that Zongo boys can't be, we know the hear matter. So you know the hear matter?
But come back no, but just back.
On the pitch,
yeah.
You're an animal, but out pitch, you're cool. But if someone sees your rasta, the person will go like, ah, no, this young man with rasta there is.
This is me now, so I just want people to accept me like this, yeah.
Okay, let's get to under 17 page, where Paco Isifrebe called you up. You mentioned how fortunate you were because he said, you go here, you stand there. You were fortunate to have been part of the players. He asked to go on a side that were chosen to play for the team. Talk to me about that under 17 experience.
That squad, that squad was amazing, you know. We were like family, like brothers. We were in camp almost, I don't know if it's 8 months or 9 months, if I can remember. You were there, you know this journey also, I think. Yeah, 8 months. So
I recall your journey to Gabon from the under 17
we started from Namibia. That was the first. We went to Namibia, with Germany.
In fact, you also played another film. Was it against Tanzania or something?
Yeah, Tanzania. Yeah. And then we came back to disqualifies and to Africa. We played with Mali in the finals. Before going to World Cup, and I think it was quite interesting. Yeah.
I know one thing too. Did you recall you played a friend of mine against Niger?
Yeah, across Sports Stadium, yeah. And I played with them again in India.
Yes.
Yeah. Under 17, that was the World Cup, yeah.
Yeah, and then you played them again in India.
AFCON also, we played again.
You played against them. Yeah. So from, you described that group as a family. And I think maybe one of the things you wanted to do so well was get to the World Cup because you were the first group that was going to the under 17 World Cup for the first time in 10 years. Because we hadn't been able to qualify in 10 years. You qualified, you were there. You got knocked out at the round of 16 stage when you lost to Mali. Yes, Hey, Mali. Mali beat us at the under 17 in Gabon.
In Dubai.
In Dubai and beat you again. How disappointing was it that you boys didn't do well?
Yeah, I think they had the best team. They had the best team that time because I can recall they had Ibrahim Kane. There's this Kamara guy. They had quite good players, and the best team won that day. And beating you 3 times doesn't mean they are lucky. It means they're good. Yeah. So you just have to accept them. Yeah.
Sometimes one of the things that we are often told is the fact that we do not have a transition plan for our youth players. You go to under 17 World Cup, you came back. Many of you, we don't even know where you are.
This matter. Can I say Mufari Wanga?
Say it.
Mufari Wanga.
Say
it. After the World Cup, I think they called us with Jimmy time. I don't know if you remember Jimmy.
Jimmy Kobler.
Yeah, Jimmy Kobler. Yeah, they come this time, and I don't know, they called few players. I think Toku, Lever, Abu Sadiq, Kudus, Danlad. I think Danlad, and I was part. But no.
What happened?
The day I arrived, they had a game against House of Folk. The day I arrived at, I think, around 4 to 5 a.m. How can you make me play a game at the same day, around 8 or 7? And that was the last game for us to go for this. I don't know, where is it Togo or this is U20 what? African Cup.
U20 African Cup.
If you also follow.
I recall it.
We played against House of Folk in Tema. He made me play this game. How can I play this game?
Where did you arrive from?
From Ukraine. I was in Ukraine this time.
Oh, okay.
Where?
Immediately after the under 17 tournament, you went to Ukraine?
After that, I went to Ukraine. That was 2018. August there. I was home for.
In fact, we were preparing for the African Games 2019, which was going to take place in Morocco. Rabat, Morocco. Because that was a competition, and the team was always preparing at, what do we call it? At the Elwak Park. So from Jimmy Kobler, then we moved on to Yao Preko. Yeah, he also took over later. And then and built the team onwards to the extent that, and I want us to get back to not having a deliberate plan for the transitioning of young players. How does it affect players? How does it affect you people?
It's affected mentally, and sometimes a lot of them a lot of us don't know what to do because we don't have someone to speak for us or to, I don't know, it's so difficult. So I don't know how to explain it, but I think if they can maybe keep few 5, 6 players, it's gonna help.
There should be a certain structure that promotes players to grow to the other national team. But when you come back and there's nothing for you. You don't even know what your fate is.
You don't know what's going on. You just feel like, I'm in doggy national team now. Focus on mine.
You often have that feeling?
Yeah, that's how I feel, because you'll be waiting and nothing comes, and you come, they drop. You see, you know.
Well, we keep saying, oh no, you know, no. There are so many things you want to say, but you're not saying it. Why are you not saying it?
We'll get there.
No, but you're saying no. We're sharing the story now.
I'm gonna charge you.
You don't have to charge, because this is the point. This is the point where, as a young player, and in fact, the media over the years have always spoken about this, how to create a successive plan for youth teams to be able to thrive. If you go to the under-17, you come back, the team is disbanded. What becomes of the players?
Nothing.
You, for instance, no, for instance, we see you play for Nigeria national team. Mohamed Kudus plays for the Black Stars, plays for West Ham United. We don't know where Eya is. We don't know where Tokyo is. Akumensan, where is he? Do you know where he is? Do you know where Gabriel Lever is? Do you remember Idris Mohammed? That fair guy who was the midfielder, was wearing the number 8 jersey. In fact, Aminu Mohammed, who was with Wafa. Where is he now? There was this young boy, Blagoji.
Yeah, Blagoji, yeah, good player.
Where is he now? This tells you that I was following you for a lot.
Yusuf also.
Razak Yusuf,
yeah.
This should tell you that I like your group, because I was with you many times in your training grounds, in fact, even in your hotel and all that. I knew the boys. But after that, you've all gone into obscurity. We have no idea when
we came with Jimmy time. We all were there. Aku, Razak, Tampico, that's Idris, Abu Sadiq, Eric Eya. But we weren't getting the chance, the opportunity to play. Like, we felt like we didn't feel at home there. We didn't feel like we were part of them. It was like we're in a team, but not in a team. It wasn't like the under-17, so we didn't feel okay. We packed our bag and left.
You packed your bag and left? Was it after or during the...
During that time, a few would say, Charlie, make me coffee, me, then he goes. Then say, oh, then he goes. Then and I'll be a call.
No, but this also means that you people are not mentally strong and willing to compete.
No, not mentally strong. We can be training, and we will be sitting down looking at people training. And we will not even have it, even in training. They don't, if you are giving competition to both players, it's fine. But you make it one-sided, and it doesn't help. Not you, but it doesn't help the country as a whole.
So this was what Jimmy Kobler did?
This is,
or not just Jimmy Kobler, or other coaches?
No, for what I saw, that's what from Jimmy's side.
So it means that he also had a different group of players before he invited you to come and join our.
Yeah, and this is problem, Mama.
No, but the thing is that sometimes you also need to understand that you're a footballer. You understand coaches need to usher in players into their teams gradually. You don't just walk in and expect him to push you.
No, not working before. I came 2 times. Okay. First time I met with this guy. We were there in Pram, and they don't care about us in Pram. Even in training, we don't. That's what I'm saying. We don't even train. You bet now be our boss and then be now for. And then I can say, I feel now now. So now you're upon training. Yeah, training. Training I
But you spoke about how you packed your things and left.
Yeah, that's when we decided to leave, because I didn't feel part of it. If you don't feel part of it, why you stay there?
How many of you packed and left?
Everyone left. Mention.
A year
left.
Yourself?
I left.
Plus who?
Razak left. Kalusha left, Idris left, Toku, and later when we came back again, they called us again. When I went to Ukraine, they called us again to come back. So I came with only Leve and Toku. Tell me the day I came, the day they dropped me, that day I played with House of. I told you that time. Yeah. I arrived in Ghana today. I played a game today. They packed my bag for me today. Imagine. So then I'll be.
The day you arrived?
Yes, I arrived around 4 or 5 a.m.
Was the day you were dropped from the team?
The team. The day I arrived, I played the game the same day against House of Folk in Tema. I don't know if you remember this game, in Tema. That was the last game for them to travel, for the team to travel to Togo.
Which day were you given to arrive in camp?
Which day?
Were you given a specific day to arrive in camp?
The day they gave me, that was the same day my brother made me come. The same day. The day they gave me was the day I came.
But if they knew you were going to be dropped, why did they
let me come flying? Yeah, ask your question. I think we have to ask Jimmy.
But you are the person I'm asking.
Yeah, we have to ask him. Because if you don't want me, it's no problem. Why you have to let me come and then you let me play a game the same day and then you drop me the same day? Oh,
how disappointing was this for you?
Very disappointing.
And you were hurt?
Yeah, and this is not, you know, it kept continuing from there. I said, everybody, watch us here.
Did you cry?
No, not cry, but I had to push in and keep working and wait for my time.
But did that in any way build some amount of hatred in you towards people?
I will not say hatred, but I will say I didn't feel love, so I had to just, you know, go where I feel love. And people were knocking, even from this time, Niger, because I went to Niger 2015, 2014. From that time till 2022, they were calling my brother every time. We need Najeeb, we need Najeeb, we need Najeeb, we need Najeeb. So I had enough of this, so I had to just go where I'm loved.
But are you saying that it got to a point where you never felt wanted?
Wanted, yeah, but yeah. And Pakusi also, same. When Pakusi took over at 23, I don't know if you remember, they went to these friendly games. Is it Japan or?
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me, I went to Pakusi in Pram, did a week, and I was part of Pakusi's list. We went to embassy. My passport is not in the embassy. Where is my passport? My passport in Kano. How would you feel?
No, how did that happen? How come your passport was missing?
I don't know.
Or did you recover that passport?
No, it's not missing. No. They took my passport out from the list. Sent the embassy. I didn't want to buy a bomb. Najeeb Yakubu, I go. No, my passport is not there. Team no passport. My passport to embassy. Embassy. Sorry, GFA. I had to go to GFA to take my passport. I went there to take my passport. They told me to go and write a letter before coming to get my passport. So what dropping me out? My passport.
Your own passport?
My own passport. What dropping me out? No problem. Give me my passport.
So they said you had to write a letter. Letter for who?
There was a lady at the reception. She said I had to write a letter before I get my passport.
Write a letter to the GFA?
GFA before getting my passport.
Your own passport?
My own passport. Pakusi was even surprised. What is going on? I didn't know. The same thing they did in 2017. Pakusi, I had to go to court. My brother had to come fight. They wanted
to go to court? What happened?
I had this issue with Unistar.
Yeah.
Let me say, I had this issue with Unistar also. Same. Until now, I said, now you're moving by Newtown Youth. I came to Newtown Youth. They said, no. And Pakusi had to take me out. And I thank Pakusi because he stood on his ground. No, I need this boy. If not,
let me get one thing clear. Because the conversation is becoming.
Now it's intense. Now for the charge.
No, it's becoming mixed up. But we need to take it sequentially. You mentioned that your passport was at the Ghana Football Association.
Yeah.
You went there. You were asked to write a letter to the GFA before you can claim your own passport.
Yeah, that was what.
Why?
I don't know.
How is it possible?
I don't know. Because I was part of the list, Pakosis list to this Japan, I don't know, just friendly game, yeah. And we go to the embassy, my passport is not there.
Wow. We are graduating the conversation pretty quick, and I can imagine the level of challenges that you had to go through as a young footballer, as young as yourself, because some of these things can affect you psychologically and mentally. Yeah. For you not to be able to still have the energy to go out.
To play.
But so, despite all these setbacks, how did you recover?
My family, you know, my family kept helping and pushing. I always tell my big brother, he's the one who keeps.
He kept telling you your opportunity will come.
You come, don't give up. Keep on, keep on, keep on.
They say who came and knocked on your door to pick your bag?
Yeah, my mom, yeah. I know that one time I was in Choco Man probably around this time. Yeah. No, go.
All of a sudden, he's become your motivational speaker, telling you your time would come.
Yeah. It's life.
I find this quite interesting that they say elder brother who said, my friend, take your things, let's go. It's now the man motivating you. Pakwesi Fevin too. So talk to me about Pakwesi Fevin. What type of person is he?
I even went this morning. I went to training with him this morning. Pakwesi, he's my football father.
He's your football father.
Yeah.
But many players actually talk great things about him.
Yeah, he's a good man, a good father, a good teacher, a good coach. Like, you know.
He makes it possible when it is getting hard, right?
Yeah. If he says, man worry, his man worry, his man worry. He always stood beside me, like, difficult times. He did his best for me, you know. So I will say thank you to him, yeah.
You say thank you for him. Najeeb, you've told me a plethora of stuff, including some of the challenges you've encountered. One of the things that continues to hold me back is why a coach would name you in a team and your passport is taken away from that team. Do you know what happened?
Do you want to hear the truth?
Yes.
I think it's the GFA president. The president cares.
Why? Why would he take out your passport?
I think he has a personal problem with me. But today I'll say it. Before, when I was in under 17, he wanted me to join his team, Dreams, but unfortunately I couldn't join your team. And you take things personal. I don't know why.
When was this?
Back in under 17, back in
So you're saying somewhere 2017?
Yeah, around that time, 2016 to 2017, because we were in camp around 2016 to 2017.
He came personally to wanted to sign you?
There is one person, that one guy, one chairman, I don't know who chairman, I don't know who is, I don't know, but I have his number, till date I have his number on my phone, the chairman, the guy from his team.
Okay, so these are the people within Dreams FC. There's one called Mohamed Jiji Alifo, there's Prince Hamid, there is Ibrahim Dose, then later Aminu Shadow joined them. In fact, around that time, 2016, Sika Kuno was their coach, in 2016 when they came to play in the Ghana Premier League then. Which of these people approached you wanted to sign you for Dreams FC?
I don't recall their name, but I have the number on my phone. I think you call him chairman or something. I think he's part of them, chairman. I don't know, but his name is chairman.
No, but if his name is chairman, then you cannot categorically say that it is the GFA president. Maybe he sent someone to come and clubs often do through third parties to get players signed up. So if you say he's a GFA president and he's taking things personal with you, how is that possible?
But I have a video, should I show you? Last time when he was encouraging his players against Sudan, how can you mention my name, encouraging your players? Is that possible? No. So why would you mention my name to encourage your players?
The second part of this interview will be coming your way on Saturday at 7:30 p.m. here on the Joy News channel.
Ghana, it is time for me to share my blunt thoughts with you this morning. And let me just let you know that I've started a series. I, together with my team, thought about this, that ahead of the elections, today, next Friday, the Friday before Election Day, Saturday, we're going to be sharing what we have put together as far as the major political parties, I'm talking about the NDC and the MPP, their manifestos are concerned. And so today we're going to take part 1, next week part 2 on different sectors, and the last week part 3. And that's why I've titled my blunt thoughts this morning, My Manifesto Series, helping you read between the lines ahead of election 2024. My Manifesto Series, helping you read between the lines ahead of election 2024. And today I serve you part 1. It's a cocktail of a number of matters, analysis. You want to stay with me because I'll be going very, very quickly. Today I'm looking at health, I'm looking at education, I'm looking at energy. And those are the 3 key areas I'm contemplating. But let's start with this. Our own manifesto tracker, the checks we've conducted, guess what? If you look at the promises made in the 2 parties' manifestos, at least for the MPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, you have 380 and at least 680 for John Dramani Mahama. That's a difference of about 300. And we're saying at least because, look, that's a summary of everything. But what accounts for this? Let's look at the historical antecedents. In the next slide, this is the trend from 2012 to 2024 as far as the NDC's party manifesto promises are concerned. 569 in 2012, 666 in 2016, 617 in 2020, 680 in 2024. So if you look at the trajectory, it has followed a certain pattern for the NDC. Apart from 2012, where they were slightly below 600, it's always been in the 600s. But if you go to the MPP, what we have from 2020 to 2024 shows that they are also sticking to their pattern. In 2020, 223 promises made. In 2024, 380. Next slide. But now, let's get to the sectors that we've targeted, starting with health. The number of promises the MPP makes in its manifesto, 52. The NDC, 111. No, it's not Agenda 111. It is 111 of those promises on health. Next slide. The top 5 promises from the MPP include the following. Completing all Agenda 111 hospitals, and that is assuming Dr. Bawumia gets the nod. That's what they say they will do. Recruiting more healthcare professionals. We know of the status of that. Bringing healthcare services to your doorstep. Incentives, 1 healthcare worker, 1 vehicle. So let's say 1H, 1V. We have another 1 something, 1 something. You remember 1 village, 1 dam and all that. That's another one, but in the healthcare system. And then 5, amending the NHIA Act to establish a separate health insurance regulatory body. These are the core promises on health from the MPP. Let's go to the next slide and see what the NDC is promising. They are promising to decollateralize the National Health Insurance Levy. And there's been a lot of talk about decollateralization as far as the levy is concerned. Review and integrate mental health into primary healthcare. So bring it to the primary level. Develop a health worker migration policy framework to facilitate ethical migration. You know what I'm talking about. Then remove taxes and tariffs on vaccine and medical donations to public health facilities. And part of that we saw in our recent standoff where we had vaccines stuck at the ports. And then amend the NHIA Act to establish a separate health insurance regulatory body. So you see that both of them have this final bit in their manifestos. Now, if you go to the next slide, if you do the juxtaposition, the side-by-side analysis on health, the MPP's 2024 manifesto has little emphasis on mental health. But the NDC's 2024 manifesto mentions increasing access to mental health care and establishing facilities. But their problem is that they show a lack of funding commitment. How are you going to do it? You are going to do it. Good idea. Brilliant. Light bulb. How? Where's the funding? That's where the devil is. Next slide. Again, you look at the MPP's manifesto, it highlights past hospital projects, which is a good thing because, mind you, there's Agenda 111, and they are hoping, if they get the nod, to continue with those, in addition to any others that may exist. But this framework lacks clear future proposals. How will it be done? What shape will it take? It's up in the air. It's not so clear. If you come to the NDC's manifesto, there are plans to complete CHIPS compounds, and you know of their relevance, especially in remote areas, and upgrade hospitals. So pretty much some plans in there. But if you go to the next slide as well, then you would see that the pathway to universal health coverage by 2030, that is the goal, not just for Ghana, but what inroads have we made? According to the 2024 manifesto of the MPP, there is a focus on more infrastructure and NHIS reforms, but less on equitable access. So, more infrastructure, yes, but how about access? How is that going to go hand in hand? Because as you have more, there must be a rise in access as well. It doesn't necessarily coincide. There must be actions that bring these two into alignment. For the NDC's 2024 manifesto, it emphasizes expanding access, improving health financing, and strengthening primary care services. So, similar plans, but some more detailed than others. Next slide. Now, if you look at the comparative analysis when it comes to health budgetary allocation, there's a story here. Because in 2009, the allocation for health was 0.921 billion. That's 921 million Ghana cedis. In 2016, that shot up under the NDC to 4.9 billion Ghana cedis. That was a 432% giant leap. But you come to the MPP, 4.2 billion in 2017, so just a little drop from 2016. But they also shot it up by 2024 to 15.6 billion Ghana cedis. That's a 271.43 or 34 percentage point increment. So you see that both of them have increased their budgetary spending, and the planning as well has also increased in their manifestos and the rationale. If you go to the next slide now, we'll also look at the estimated cost over 4 years when it comes to health and what the parties are proposing. If you look at what the MPP is proposing, it will cost us some $13.9 billion. If you look at what the NDC is proposing, it will cost us $18.5 billion. So you have to weigh, gauge, and find out which will serve you better. Next slide. Now, let's do education. This has also come to the fore, and when you see the adverts, even on our platform and other platforms, there's talk about free SHS and this and that. But what have the parties been saying? What are the deliverables? And if they win, what are they hoping to do? Do you know? That's why I'm here. The MPP has made 54 promises under the banner of education. Under the umbrella of education, the NDC has made 125 of those promises. What are they saying? Key components. Let's go. Now, the benchmark, if you look at the education manifestos, the benchmark, we are looking at early childhood education, crucial. Equal access to higher education at all levels. 25% of national budgets for education, 25%, that's a quarter. And then eliminating gender disparities by 2030 so that there can be equality or equity, if you like, on that level. Equipping youth with relevant skills for decent work so that the youth are skilled enough to be able to do something with and for themselves. But what are the parties saying? There's also a focus on early education. Now, the big problem is this. Stay with me. 10% of kindergarten-age children are not in school. That's 1 in 10. There are inadequate TLRS, or what I should say, teaching and learning resources. They are woefully inadequate. Teachers themselves, there's a paucity of same, and then pedagogy and infrastructure are also problematic, thematic areas. Now, having laid this foundation, if you look at our secondary education, it's also bedeviled with exam malpractices, especially at the WASI level. Free SHS has had problems with a double track system. Feeding, and we've seen part of that, school placement, and then curriculum and teaching and learning resources. All of these are problematic areas when it comes to secondary education. Next level, let's go. Now, if you focus on the tertiary level, so we've done basic secondary, what are the problems bedeviling the tertiary sector? Low gross tertiary enrollment of about 12% against a target of about 40% by 2030. That leaves us with a deficit of about 28%. Are we going to be able to catch up by what? 6 years' time? That's the question. Financial access barriers when it comes to tertiary education. And both parties, NDC and NPP, have spoken about free tertiary education. But which one do you believe? And can it be done within the scope of where we are economically? Accommodation deficits. Even my alma mater, the University of Ghana, has that. And if we had more, we'd be able to also, get more students. And finally, inadequate financing of tertiary institutions. This has been the bane, one of the banes of our tertiary education. But let's now look at what the parties are saying. The MPP's top 6 promises when it comes to education. 1, continue free SHS or the TVET policy, right? Training, vocational training. Establish an open university, like you would find, there's this open university where people can have more access to tertiary education, among others. Build technology hubs, and the Vice President has been speaking a lot about such technology hubs and the role they would play. Next slide. Revamp schools in underserved areas. Free tertiary education for persons with disabilities. And I just made mention of that, but theirs is also specifically targeting persons with disabilities. And a national service exemptions, okay, in this category. What is the NDC saying as far as their top promises are concerned? Let's go to the next slide. Extend free SHS to private SHS and end the double track system. So they are saying we are retaining it, but we are extending it to private SHS and ending the double track system. Train 1 million youth in digital skills, no academic fees for first year public tertiary students. So you see the juxtapositions. You go to the next few ones. Let's go to the next slide. Let's go to the next slide, if we may. And so if you do the comparative, the MPP is saying we'll continue free SHS and TVET. There will be free tertiary education for persons with disabilities. We're expanding the student loan eligibility. And we are also integrating scholarship databases so that they can function as one. The NDC is saying we're going to extend free SHS to private SHS institutions. Free tertiary education for persons with disabilities, so they both have that. Reintroduction of Student Loan Trust Fund Plus, okay? And then, if you remember the Student Trust Loan Fund, and then reform the scholarships regime to take away some of the rot that we've seen in the system. So you look at it and similar ideas, but the devil is always in the detail. Let's go to the next slide. The MPP says it will implement a new school curricula, part of what we've seen in the making so far, and increase accommodation in public tertiary institutions. The NDC is going to prioritize skills in curricular reform and then implement a bed-for-all program. Both of them promising relevant issues. But the bed situation is a critical one, especially with the numbers that free SHS is bringing, not just at the secondary level, but at the tertiary level as well. Beds, where will they sleep? And we know the situation, so I'm not going to belabor the point. Next slide. Now, if you look at comparative analysis of the education budgetary allocations that we're talking about, in 2009, 1.69 billion. In 2016, it was brought to 7.55 billion, an increment of 346%. In 2017, under Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, 8.33 billion was the figure for 2017. By 2024, we were looking at 29.5 billion Ghana cedis, an increment of 254%. Both of them adding on to the contributions when it comes to education. Next slide. So we've done health, we've done education. I'm giving you the final breakdown on energy, and then we'll cap it off from there. Remember, this is part 1 of the manifesto analysis. Next week, the week after that, we'll conclude for you. If you look at the MPP, the number of promises made in energy, 32. Here, it is close. For the NDC, it is 31. But what are the dynamics? Key focus, focal areas. Let's go to the next slide. The NPP is targeting 2028, 4 years from now, for universal electrification everywhere. The NDC is targeting universal electrification by next year, 2025. How are they going to achieve this? There are interesting dynamics, but let's go to the next slide. In terms of power generation expansion and reliability, the NPP hopes to boost power generation capacity but include more specific industrial support with tariff restructuring. Now, when you hear tariff restructuring, you know what that means. That could lower commercial rates for those who are into business, production, industry, right? But for the rest of us, it may not necessarily be the same, as we've seen from the PURC and the different gradations of electricity tariffs. When it comes to the NDC, they say they are focusing on expanding mini hydro, portable hydro networks, thermal and renewable power sources to meet rising demand. And both of them are hoping, the NPP in 2028, the NDC in 2025, to give universal electrification. Which one do you believe? That's up to you. Next slide. Then, in terms of power generation expansion and reliability, the NPP proposes reforms in fuel procurement. And this is a tricky area. There's a lot of corruption in the sector. Fuel procurement for power generation. Okay? The NDC is looking at making hydropower, water, more accessible and affordable, especially for vulnerable communities, those most in need. Again, similarities, but then you look at the different proposals. Like I say, some seem to suggest more action, palpable action, than others. In the end, you get to decide with your thumb. Next slide. Again, in terms of renewable energy initiatives, the NPP has set a specific goal, very specific, of introducing 2,000 megawatts of solar power. For the NDC, they are hoping to exceed the 10% renewable energy target in the national energy mix. So 10% is the goal. They are hoping to exceed that as far as renewable energy is concerned. The NPP is saying we are going to introduce 2,000 megawatts of solar power. So they are looking at the energy mix and superseding what the target is. The NPP is looking at harnessing the power of solar power. Let's go to the next slide. Now, if you look at this final slide and the sector regulation and governance issues, the NPP suggests mergers and digitization. I guess digital has become the new catchphrase. Mergers and digitization as far as regulation and governance of that sector is concerned. What's the NDC looking at? Increasing transparency in the allocation of exploration and production rights. So this is the tail of the tape when it comes to health, when it comes to education, when it comes to energy. Just giving you a breakdown because a lot of you may not have the time or put in the effort to read the party manifestos. But this, essentially, is what the parties are saying. Now, you must decide ahead of the elections when it comes to energy, when it comes to education, when it comes to health. Which of these will serve you the best ahead of the elections and where your thumb should go? Like I said, I'm not here telling you what to do, but I'm here to enlighten you so that as you go into that booth, you know what to do. My name is Benjamin Akakpo. Thank you for staying with me for part 1 of these blunt thoughts. Like I said, next week Friday and the Friday after that, the day before election day, I'll serve you part 3, the final part, and then you get to go and vote and decide. May God bless Ghana and make her great and strong. Thank you for watching.
Covering an area of about 11 hectares, the completely walled Kumasi Zoological Gardens is situated at Kejetia, the center of Kumasi. Patronage of the zoo dwindled between 2009 and 2019. From 9,069 visitors in 2019, the Kumasi Zoo recorded 142,518 visitors in 2023 to become the fourth most visited attraction site in Ghana. That is according to the 2023 Ghana Tourism Authority's report.
Over the years, the numbers have actually increased. For the past 2-3 years, we've seen about a 300% increase of visitors to the zoo. Last year, we had around 120,000. This year, the year has not ended yet, but we've already passed 100,000, and we are very hopeful that the what Forestry Commission wants us to do in terms of the target for the year, we'll be able to really achieve it.
The facility now boasts of 256 animals from 54 different species. Perhaps the reason behind the zoo's skyrocketing figures, since patrons are served with variety.
If you come to Kumasi Zoo today, you will see or enjoy or learn from about 256 individual animals, making 54 different species of animals. So you see the big cats, you can see the way the kids are enjoying the lions, you see the camels, we have other cats, we have hyenas, we have a unique animal which is the first in the region, which is down there. You can see it from here, that is a zebra, and we know kids like zebras. So it is important we have such animals so that when the kids come, they're able to see a variety of animals.
What about visiting the cage side of Samson, the lively only male chimpanzee at the zoo that will excitedly respond to every human instruction to display in rolling antics, or maybe witnessing the feeding of the king of the jungle, the lions.
When you see people's reaction towards seeing what these animals offer, and especially today, lions feeding hour, and I overheard a mother of about 40-something years old say that she has never seen a lion, and that mother has a daughter of about 3 years old. The mother of 40-something and a 3-year-old has seen a lion together for the first time and seen how the lion is fed in the zoo setting for the first time. That is very, very exciting.
Born in 2012, Samson has developed a penchant to entertain patrons, making the chimpanzee the most exciting animal at the Kumasi Zoo.
Samson is a chimpanzee, a male chimpanzee who was born in Kumasi Zoo in the year 2012. His father was Jimmy, if you've heard of Jimmy the chimpanzee in Kumasi Zoo. And Samson was with his father. He learned a lot of skills from his father, and because of that, when children come and start mentioning his name, he starts making some moves, and that excites the kids a lot. To the extent that it can take about almost 20 to 30 minutes, people standing by him and not moving to any other enclosure. And it's sometimes exciting to see something drinking from a bottled water. Sometimes when you see something eating gobe, it's so interesting.
Members of the Children's Ministry of the Krapa District of the Seventh-day Adventist Church witnessed the antics of Samson. The children and their teachers were at the zoo as part of the celebrations of the 150th anniversary celebration of Creation Sabbath. 9-year-old Benita Owusu Frimpong is thrilled at the sight of the animals, especially lions.
When you saw them, what was your reaction?
I said wow, and when I saw the lions, I said so they were like this big. I thought they were small because in some movie there were some small cubs of lions.
Among them is 37-year-old mother who visited the zoo for the first time with her 4-year-old daughter. She is excited at the serene environment at the zoo and the wild animals. The Krapa District Director of the Children's Ministry, Beverlyn Frimpong, insists the visit to the zoo is worth the hype.
Some of the things the children, they normally see them in the books
But here they have seen it rarely. We are here in the zoo and they are witnessing God's creation.
Authorities of the Kumasi Zoological Gardens have stepped up efforts to increase patronage of the zoo, which also serve as research ground for academics. The facility has seen over 100,000 patrons as of October 2024. The Catch Them Young program, which is targeted at children, is also encouraging first-time adult visitors to the zoo, with schools, religious bodies and other groups being targeted.
80% of the visitors that come to the zoo are actually students. And then the students come here for tourism just like this. A lot of them come for educational excursions. And then most also come for research. So all the universities in Ghana from Upper East, Upper West, Legon, KNUST, Cape Vast, they all come here to take data for their research work.
The Kumasi Zoo is more than alive now. Just pay a visit to see the lively exploits of Samson the chimpanzee and his compatriot lion, among other animals.
We are, of course, your election headquarters, bringing you timely and accurate information. You don't need to go anywhere else and get misinformed or maybe disinformed when it comes to election 2024. Stick with us and we'll give you everything you need to know. Now, today we're catapulting you to the Domi-Kwabenya constituency, located at the Ga East district of the Greater Accra region and the country's largest constituency. It covers areas including Dome, Hacho, Agbogba, Pillar 2, Westlands, and Ashoman. We're talking about, yes, Domi-Kwabenya constituency. It has experienced some interesting political developments within this 4-year period. But the question is, what could possibly change? We have the son of former Speaker Aaron Michael Quay, who is now the candidate of the MPP, taking over from Sarah Adwa-Safo. But we want to gauge the mood of voters in that constituency. Before we go there, though, Sweetie Abochi is on hand. Let me just walk you very quickly through the trajectory when it comes to the presidential and parliamentary polls in that constituency. There's a certain trend. If you look at, it may not be that clear, but I will spell it out for you. If you look at the year 2004, right? In the presidential elections, the MPP polled 65.72%. That's what you see here. That dropped in 2008 to 60.31%. Then in 2012 to 61.93%. It increased a bit. Well, it increased to 67.13% in 2014, but fell in 2020 to 60.58%. If you look at it critically, what it means is that from 65%, there was a drop to 60.31%. And if you look at the figure in 2020's elections for the presidential, is the second lowest the MPP has scored between 2004 and 2020, a period of 16 years. The lowest coming in 2008, actually, 2008, and the second lowest in 2020. What is happening there? But then you come to the NDC's trajectory, and you would see that as far as the NDC is concerned, they scored 32.86%. Then it went up to 38+%, fell to 37.52%, then fell again to 32.18%. But in the last election in 2020, it rose to 38.71%. And you would see also that for the NDC in the presidential, the 2020 figure is the highest, almost knocking on the door of 40%. That's the highest the NDC has secured as far as presidential elections are concerned. But finally, with the parliamentary, before we go to the constituency, when you look at the parliamentary, the NPP has moved from 65.5% to 57.7%, then going up a bit to 63.75%, then a high, the highest in 2016 of 68% when the Nana Addo Akufo-Addo government took over. And that has fallen now to 58.35%, the lowest or the second lowest that it has secured. Again, the lowest, interestingly, you would have to go to 2008. The second lowest, 2020. 2008 was a year when the NDC came to power. 2016, a year when the MPP came to power. And 2020, this is what happened. When it comes, though, to the NDC, it has moved from 32.3%, then a high of 39.5%, fell to 35+%, then to a low of 31%. But look at this figure here. Interestingly, the NDC's candidate in the last election in 2020 scored more than 40%. The presidential, they were just below 40, 38.71. But for the parliamentary, over 40%. The question is, how is all of this going to impact, shape minds, thoughts, votes ahead of election 2024 on both the presidential and parliamentary scores? Well, to get a good hint at that, we're bringing in Sweetie Abochi, my colleague. She's on hand, on the ground in Domi-Kwabenya. Sweetie, if you can hear me, what is happening in Domi-Kwabenya?
We're coming to you live from Domi-Kwabenya constituency for our constituency lens today on the AM show. Now, in this constituency, there are two candidates that are vying for the position of Member of Parliament. We have Michael Aaron Quay and we have Elikpli Makrugu from the NDC, and Michael Okwe is from the NPP. Now, this morning, we are specifically in the Domi market, where we want to understand what the issues here are in the constituency and what will influence voter choices, as well as what the messaging has been from these parliamentary candidates. But let's talk to Joshua and Raphael. They are here with us. No, come join me. So this morning, I mean, we've had some interaction before coming on live now. And I have to tell you that everyone is busy. It's a busy market. And so we'll be moving from group to group to understand and bring in perspective what really the issues are. Joshua and Frank and Raphael, thank you for joining us. So let me start with you, Frank. What are the issues here in the Domi-Kwabenya constituency? You work here. You have seen your shop. What are the issues bothering you here in the constituency?
Okay. I would say basically when the customers come in, they do talk about the price inflation. So what I would say, that's the first thing that they used to complain most. Aside that, they used to say that their roads leading to their markets are not also that good. So I basically see that that's the only thing that they are facing for here as a worker here. No, this is not my constituency, but then that's the only thing that I can see for now. So
it's just 15 days to go to the elections. What have you been hearing? What has been the campaign messages from both parties, and which one do you think makes more sense to you? Have you heard anything at all?
Well, they've come around though, but not basically here within the markets and then suburb. So I don't really hear what they do say, but most people do talk a lot about maybe changing power and other stuff. But
let me throw that to you. Talking about changing power. Thank you for joining us. So this is my hometown, brother. So what are let's start from the issues here, and then we talk about the change in power, if there would actually be a change in power. So first, what are the issues?
Last year, by this time, Katana Vafia, Metanga Funa, Africana na busy. By this year, only share slow, and a Kamajimu. And Ta Ni Magbono, Neba, Amukatan Le High, Ta Namashama Vana, Babiamuta, and your price no, Kaujo.
He's also talking about the hike in food prices. He said a year ago, around this time of year, he wouldn't even get a time to speak to us because they're so busy, and he runs a meat shop. But now people aren't able to buy as much, and they are free enough that they can talk to us because the economy is hard. What about change in power?
ta mekata ma wo shin ko pomile ta ma gbono ba Domi-Kwabenya afie enye macho katusaf afika macho since ojima nyama kpo ba MPP rudile afuma kpo NDC kolunaji ta ma kpo ba setela ma le Domi-Kwabenya afie since ma va afie NDC ma ho sitle afie kpo matter how it is anwoji yunyo pra o ko sume ya me udagana eko udagana ta yo ya pamo kata le ma wuji ba ma ko ata a change
Okay, so he says that he's from Ketu South, and since he was born, he's never seen an NPP parliamentary candidate or NPP win in that area before. And since he moved here to this Domi-Kwabenya constituency, it's the same thing. No matter how hard or difficult the issues or the situation gets, he doesn't believe or he doesn't think it would ever happen that the people, the constituents here, would ever vote for any other party apart from the NPP, and therefore they're leaving everything to God. We will leave shortly and go to the other groups, but is there anything that if your leaders are watching you right now concerning this constituency you want to tell them? Like, what do you need from them now?
Me here to me here 15 days me dako. Me here intifafa me dako intifafa nava adre magajo ahba magajo.
Okay, good one. So he says that what his ask is that we vote in peace. Our leaders should not instigate violence. We should go to the polls and come back in peace, because at the end of the day, Ghana is ours. What about you? What would be your request if our leaders are watching you? If these Elikpli Makrugu and Michael Aaron Okwe are watching you right now, what is your message to them?
Okay, my message would be, on the day of voting, we should go peacefully. We all exercise our franchise peacefully and then come back. So whatever result that comes, we all take it in good faith.
All right. Thank you so much. Now, I want to take you to the inside of the market, right, where we have so many traders who earlier we spoke to, and they were waxing lyrical about the issues that face them in this constituency. And I want to start with the onion seller here. Hello, ma. Mabao. Bacho bra 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 bra. Okay, so that's a woman, she's here. And ma, good morning. Yeah, bisa say in Sembe and I nyoma ben ne hamo Domi-Kwabenya has say 15 days ya kwako to abano e was say leaders no omu pay attention to.
They hire ba kwone say ye dwadie. Edwam has say hanya hibiem. E ma ne nyina adwane kokurom because of a scan dey da so no so. Nti nipa no amma. Nti eno no say atidwom asa.
Well, she's saying that basically the same thing, the hike in food prices or the inflation. He says that they weren't they're not as busy as they used to be because things are hard. But I've seen someone is drawing my attention here about Obiro Betuaman, and I want to understand what her issue is.
Because me bano when you free education and can you know I can me jina way. Well, here ni baby at some men, Cabana and Camebana to Yakobi. Me mammy and Nuna woman, and to a boame, and to Massa.
Okay, so she says she will vote for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia because of free senior high school. But Obana Domi-Kwabenya has said, you were Elikpli Makrugu from NDC, and I want to about her. But what's your campaign messages, Nibi? Our constituency, Hano, in Yoma Bang Nehamo, Ewa has said.
I had them because I'm a Tihana me boa, Mimi Kumasi na me walk. Kumasi dear,
Bawi Jumawa.
I am the Yoma Baha, track me Baha.
It's only issues be a Wahasea, ebe influencing wood. All right.
I had a minimushe by the Anaya Mayano, me per se, but Omiano on Tuaso, no one Yamimusemi would Gidia wa Reshemuse, or Bayamaya, because free education need the
all right, thank you. So she's just rehashing the fact that she will vote for the NPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, because of free senior high school, and she doesn't vote here. She's all the way from Kumasi. She only brings her goods here, and so she really can't share much with us in terms of the issues that the people, the constituents here are grappling with. But I have seen some Okada drivers, right? Pragya riders. Oh, nice. How are you all doing? Inti yene constituency kasa say nyoma ben nsem ben ne hamo e wo Domi-Kwabenya mo na mo ye adwuma wa ha say inti mo nkyerɛkyerɛ mu because aka 15 days ayekoto aba e dey na e wo say bo politicians Elikli Makrugu ne Michael Okwe then I was say omo pay attention to power ha say ye kwakoto aba no
ye kwakoto aba ya dey higher no say fuel na omututu mu no every blessing dey fuel no price no ekoto pa kwa na ekoye ntiase adwuma no say enja yo say enye o aginyame anti akurugu ni makokwe no omo ye ward obi o percent to aba ma no fuel no omo price ni ye den emba form ese
for na enye omo no mo oye for ni dey say na national issue
yeah say every aban na etuma aban na etiso
so he
etiso na me kasa kire na say fuel no price no ekọ so person something na so bioma all
right, so he's talking about the increase in fuel prices which affects their business. Let's gather some more thoughts. Eja, you're live on AM show. Ansana, yankechi, oh no problem. Ansana, ye baba live. Na mini wudi nkomo. Insem na oka ni nyina bonetofa mami.
Oh, okay. Aban for ne nom na ye adwuma wa ha. Ade ka be sere ne se. So mo tie ya, enipa ho adwuma de e de ne. E be so mo tie ya se kasa no mo ne be ka, afutu bo mo fama since the ometima we suit before say bia 20 no mejo kra na ometima dina ba bia be 2 hours na ye ma onko he yesro mo say omunyo madwuma ye yesro mo ani die mo a.
So he's a tricycle rider, right? And there are actually a lot here. I don't know if my camera woman can pan and show you. That is like the main way of transport. If you want a quick or a faster way to transport your goods from here, they use that. And they say that the policemen have been harassing them. They take when they catch them, whatever they're doing that causes the police to catch them, they take money from them, and it's affecting their business. So they would like the governments to pay attention to that, so that they can also just ply their trade in peace. Ma, that's to say what join ye. Ye bisa mo amotse ha Domi-Kwabenya constituency. Aka 15 days ye beto aba. In Nyoma Bay, in Sembe ne hamu. Ewo ha say, what say ha say? Kawasem chreyen.
In Nyoma ha ye wa hanum say. Nyawa de bebre ha so fu o ma to me ano so kan bebre ha pa because they see afu o ntumi nto fu o nti no this year there
we a driver
me a driver tripra ga ni bi ya kwan so nye kwan no nye se so ambaba to abeme wo so mo ya kwan ni bi o baby Omaba to aba na de watate ya kwan no but this year there ya to aba ma aban papa wa besi so aba ma Ghana hanum se bi akoso because hanum aye dene.
What am I there interesting? Well, she's saying that it's the fuel prices and watch yourself and the roads are bad. But I want to post something interesting. What him say? Constituency has a montoma different party da. Every time we call elections between 1990 or 2000 it is NPP and winning. This year I will say over to aba ama abain for abai na wo to ama no.
Say first nena yet to aba na as Sunday this year yes some.
We are sure say best
and this year yes some mama bibia ya kama because me oba say to say me aduma bia ni Ghana o. Oba miss moto we so me chen kan ko. Sakura no brother boy. Enye is because Ghana mo ya dian kasanti yes some akoyani yes some akoyani
iti mo nyina mo ne ya anyin se mo sisem
yes some ade no kura nyankopon ya sisem wo huhu mo dada.
Well, they are basically saying that this year they are going to change their voting pattern. We know, I'm sure that Benjamin brought the statistics on the voting pattern here. We know that NPP is always winning here. And so they're saying that because things are not going well, they are going to change that. Which means, NDC.
Number one or the second.
So there you have it. But let's engage some more constituents. You know this is a busy market, and so we cannot gather them all. We have to move from one person to the other. Thank you so much for joining us. So what are your concerns here? What are your concerns here in the constituency?
Impuntu. Me say omano and I say me area no ebekos no na ehia me development.
Development like what?
Say youth na ewo ho no ye benye adwuma ye obi ho nkyere no. That is my concern.
Now, the people are saying, he's saying that he wants development, roads to be done, youth to be employed and all that. But, I say in Ankasan, Domi-Kwabenya no, NDC winida, parliamentary, presidential, omu winida. But mo kase omu best same. Only omu ya doing. Would you say, afiwe mo best same mana?
Nyani sise mo na ehia mi. Na emom nipa obeba. Obi ahun beto yen. Ena ye mi main point. Say ye NPP na be samba, ebema development aba. Say ye NDC na be samba, ebema development aba. Enu na ehia mi. Say ye NDC, say ye MPP, and only there, for my personal interest. Benny or Beba, and that's Bebano, and I may.
All right, so he, as an individual, doesn't really mind which party comes in power. He's looking at developmental issues. He's looking at how the youth can be gainfully employed and how they can ply their trades in peace and without any hindrances that, reduces their economic or financial progress. But I do want to go to some people that we spoke to earlier to also add their voice to the issue. The truth is, it's interesting for me to just hear them say that they are going to be changing their choice of a party this year because we know that it is the NPP that usually wins in this constituency. Over here, I'm coming to speak to a shop attendant. Oh, inside, great. So let's get in and speak to him. So, anapane ba na oni en kansen bi mu nti e fe bone tofa mama. E de be ne hamo e wo constituency ha se. Okay, so we are going to constituents and asking them what are the issues here. And apani omo kansen bebre ba fe ne yakọ live nti wo so wa ba ha say de ya pass anyway share. Then e hamo wa ha.
Wa ha pan say enkwala no ha no mu ne adwuma ye. To the market ya say no so. Ye ni ade yiri bola ne no magu nti je say o meti ye sa to we ya. Ye ma bibia. And ye tua do things for nothing.
Okay, so she's saying that, I'm doing a translation. She's saying that, one, the youth are not employed, and two, they're paying tolls for cleaning the markets, but it appears that nothing is being done. They have to, more proper, but they themselves have to, clean up after themselves, although they are paying for it, and they don't have proper waste management systems here in the markets. Pachotoso.
And a normal so market, I say, brepa, Lebanese no. Say Ghana government to show me because the way almost too no I don't think say the food and drugs were checking woman. And Ghana has said no be a foreigner be about or but say sick just like that. But almost show
Lebanese from them but no more.
Almost them money my and it's a Ghana government, they have a freedom. And number they say no, warehouses not been there. It's not like that. Yeah, got to normal warehouse. Why is some warehouse in the market? Warehouse should be industrial area. Now, yeah, so soon Ghanaians, they say me customer free or better man nante. I can warehouse, I can target. Is there some quarter for warehouse? Abahasi. And did the warehouses and quite industrial area. And my and since some buying markets. Near freedom.
Okay, so she's basically asking the government to regulate some sort of non-compete for them here in the markets between them and the Lebanese, because the Lebanese are taking over in terms of bringing in rice to the market, and they're asking if the government can find a way to maybe move them further so that they don't have competition right here in the market, and it's putting them, the Ghanaians, the locals here, out of business. Bibi go be mana. Lebanese no.
Because it's not like that. And it's a bazaar. Because omo didn't know money and it's on market here. See, I saw more industrial area and any of fan no man. And no one surprise nominating me at all. Because who move to the market?
Okay. Now I say Domi-Kwabenya no. Ye who said they be a motuma NPP. Your name your kada for ne kasawa bonds. Almost omo di omo besi same. About we kwa 15 days no. What to say?
Me imagine.
Usha campaign messages na Eli Plim ni Michael. I mean, whatever they're talking about, no, they're wearing a Towasum.
The Thomasum no. Say the two parties so much me because Oma promise ya omo ba omo promise ya metomunye. And here ni pa foforo bi a obetimi apro. The youth no, me go tua me best school fees. Na akwala ni me wie school no ntena se. Ye nwini school akwala no ho. Ye nwini Ghanaian so. Omo ba omo ba boy se ye nto abanima. But omo we ni wie na no mu refi ye. And it for me dey me ma fa me ho adwene. Me that two parties no me ma fa me ho adwene.
Yeah, that's the first one, Yakasa. So she was saying that we should break away from the NPP-NDC duopoly because it's just about promises that are not fulfilled all the time. We will go to some other people and speak to them, but I find it interesting that she talks about Lebanese taking over the rice market here in Domi-Kwabenya, or specifically here at the Domi market, and they're asking that if there's a way that they can regulate it, then they can do that. Okay, so I have someone here who we spoke to earlier. Hi, it's good. Oh, why? So you are all here. Let's talk, please. I know you are busy, but this will be very brief. So when I came earlier, I was asking you that we are asking for the issues here in the constituency. Yeah.
Can you speak your mother tongue?
You want to speak Tree? That's fine. That's why we can speak Tree. In your mabena, issues, and I send me hamu ewa hase, and then we talk about the voting.
Okay. Yeah. What do me hase? Domi-Kwabenya me domi precisely no market no nye na kwan no so nye ama traffic ye bebre wo kwan no so yeah na in fact over your market no so niam abode enye kura nti niam ahia na high pa no no.
Okay, so he's basically reiterating that things are basically very difficult here in the market. Apart from that, the market is not structured well, so it's causing a lot of traffic. In fact, it is true, we experienced it ourselves. The traffic here is heavy. I'm just seeing a policewoman enter a trotro driver. I think he's been arrested. But I won't say, but it looks like, whether parliamentary or presidential or motoma NPP, Affail, based on the fact that I just have for Omba back, no. More Otto Addo saying. Considering so also wope in Sisemu, wope development, wope some way road now. Abano Otto saying.
Me per se na. Oh, me this year the imagine say me about the mean to be. Ni say ya to ye who change. And I will have a witness since. I said the internet into me. My imagine say me about the mean to be.
By civic responsibility. He's saying that he will not vote because he doesn't see anything good coming out of it. But I'm saying that it's his civil responsibility to vote. So one to aba, grofona mwako to aba, no one choice on beyama.
I know your own. Say me ma make it choice and mwame. Into my imagination. And
then a bit me ama wadrian sisan a obeto aba.
Say niama boko form one. Mra yere kwa about to embrace. Niama boko form ni yehu. Na say mate some person mu ye bibi kakra o market wo ni sa de see hu sa na ma ne dia e betima de san adwene.
Okay, so I was asking him on what will cause him to change his mind to actually vote this time, because he says he doesn't want to vote, and he talks about if things get better, if things change, then maybe they will consider. I spoke to the lady earlier. Oh, there's someone else here. Let me go and come. I spoke to the lady earlier, and then I want to understand what she also has to add to this. Hello, ma. Yabao. Good morning. Inti anapana mi bisa se mini ba your life. Na mi bisa se nyo ba ne hamo e Domi-Kwabenya ha se. Wo de bo ne tofa ma me ne yeko.
Atache no dross. Ya market nye. Ana ye nse de ni baby papa bia like wo si a wo be ye free na wa to wa de. Na market ni mo so attention is too much. And your friend is saying the increment no so hard drink. Increments no hard drink pa man can because each and every day no prices are changing. It difficult more pa.
Attention no can equine na.
Equine yet. Until always no there is traffic. It worries us a lot. Like people should be coming like quick to purchase and difficult more.
But before you go, Abana Yakwako 15 days, no 26.
Oh, I don't do any better to me.
Mammy, last one. Once I have say no, Mutaitoma NPP. Wow, parliamentary, presidential, Nipana Yejuma, 1 year Juma, Utuma NPP, na fe so once current MP na just have one mebium. The replacement Michael Okwe, and NDC side near Elikli Makrugu. In some no moke canon, they ain't to assume.
Me so far no, because of business in Inti and shut down fire drink.
All right, thank you. So her issues were basically two: the bad nature of the road and the hike in food prices. Let's enter this beautiful shop still in the Domi market and understand what's going on. Good morning. Thank you so much for agreeing to speak to us. So you're live on Joy News, the AM show. We want to understand. You are a constituent here in Domi-Kwabenya. You work here. What are the issues that are critical for your leaders to address going into the elections? Oh, we are live. So briefly. I'll leave you right now. Briefly. What are the issues here?
I don't want to say anything, please.
That's fine. Okay. So let's speak to you then. What are the issues here?
The issues are the traffic and what else? Traffic. That's all. The traffic. Then the prices of the foodstuffs here are expensive. So that's all. That's all we have here.
Thank you. Looks like the issues are really the same for everyone. They all talk about the increase in food prices. It appears the market is slowed down because things are difficult compared to previous years. And they also talk about the bad nature of the road. You can see that there's a gridlock here. And I think that it's one of the things that will influence voter choices, or one of the things that they really want leadership to pay attention to. I have with me here another driver who will probably be the last person we speak to today. Thank you for talking to us. We're asking constituents in Domi-Kwabenya, what are the issues you're grappling with? And then we'll talk about how you're going into the December 7 polls. But let's start with the issues.
Okay, concerning the issues at Domi Market, you see the market has no parking lot. And the tractor drivers mostly park by the roadside to pick passengers, which doesn't help the traffic situation in the area or in the constituency. So as we speak now, if something could be done, or I don't know how possibly it can, but if something could be done, then there will be a parking lot for the market and for the drivers. It will benefit the constituency a lot.
Right. The other thing is, going into the December 7 elections, well, who are you voting for? Between Elikplim Akrugu and Michael Aaron Okwe.
Okay. That one I can't tell.
Okay, but have you been listening to their campaign messages? Which one resonate? Which one really, which one appears to meet you at the point of your needs as an individual?
As at now, that of Elikplim is very superb because she is having a policy of engaging the youth, building something like that of a magazine, which will involve all workers. Whether you are an artisan or, there is something like that, which will help a lot. If you participate, it will help the constituents.
Are you sure that even though you believe that Elikplim's campaign message or policies are superb, like you said, do you think that she can actually get the mandate, considering that this constituency, Domi-Kwabenya, never vote for, well, you do vote for them, but NDC has never won in this constituency before. Do you think anything will be different this year?
That one I can't tell because Domi-Kwabenya has been branded as an elephant constituency, which I can't tell if the constituents will change their mind because per day voting for NPP, if they have achieved something, that is up to them. Because per me, her policies are very nice, which will help everybody. So if the constituents will change their mind, it will benefit all of us.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. So it looks like the messaging or the campaign messages from Elikplim, the people here in Domi-Kwabenya are actually listening to the messages. This gentleman just told us about Elikplim's policies being superb. So probably, like the Pragya drivers, tricycle operators said, maybe this will be the year where they change or do something different in this constituency. But we are still here in Domi Market, in the heart of Domi-Kwabenya constituency, gauging preparedness or voter choices ahead of the December 7 elections. And the issues that have come up here so far, the main one that keeps ringing through is the increase in food prices. Considering this is a market, it appears that they want the should I say economy, or they want the cost of things to be lower than it is right now. So, well, we have to throw it back to you in the studio because it appears everyone has add their views on what's really happening here and what the issues are here. They're talking about good roads, they're talking about youth employment, they're talking about cost of food prices, and among others. I'm Siti Aboshi for Joy News.
And that is Sweetie Abochi, my colleague, who has been embedded in that constituency, Domi-Kwabenya, and she's been interacting with some of those there. Hopefully you got some scope on what we can expect from that constituency. But before we take a breather, this year's CompuGhana Cashback has been named Prime Cashback Season and it's packed with goodies, incredible deals and exciting surprises for you. Now this Prime Cashback, CompuGhana is bringing you exclusive discounts, prime savings, awesome surprises whenever you shop for products from any of their branches nationwide. So you can find products from your favorite brands like Samsung, LG, TCL, HP, Lenovo, Dell, Midea, Nasco, Tecno, Infinix, Itel, Huawei, and many more. Visit any of the CompuGhana branches nationwide and enjoy exclusive discounts on all products. CompuGhana has a wide range of IT-related products from mobile phones and electronic products such as laptops, printers, desktop computers, tablets, television sets, fridges, home theaters, air conditioners, gas cookers, and more. Now, what's more amazing? This year's Prime Cashback with CompuGhana has got great prizes, instant gifts, cash prizes for your shopping experience. So whenever you shop at CompuGhana this season, be on the lookout for the surprise team, answer a question correctly, and win instant cash and gifts. You deserve this too, of course. Rush to CompuGhana now. The promo runs from now till December. Visit CompuGhana.com or call 0302 752 020 for more information. We'll be back with more action right here on the AM Show. Do stay. Here we are back. This is the AM Show, and I have some exciting news for you. We're getting into the studio with one of my buddies here. We've worked elsewhere, and we've met here again. You see that smile on his face. Fred Smith, he's an editor. He's also coordinator for that exciting package we have for you now, the Deutsche Welle Joy News collaboration. Tell us about this new collaboration.
Well, good morning to you and to everyone. We are collaborating with DWTV to try and raise the issue of environmental destruction happening in Ghana. Because for some time now, many of us in Ghana seem to have gone to sleep. We all saw the dangers with Galamsey and how it was, threatening lives. But we've all gone to sleep. You know, at a point, it was in the news almost every day. Yeah. Because organized labor, civil society, the media, all others were engaged doing something to raise the concern. It looks like because of elections, everybody's gone to sleep, and we say we won't allow that to happen because lives are still at stake. And so we've partnered with DWTV. We're actually taking this matter internationally because, the concern is higher up there. Whatever we produce, our cocoa is shipped abroad, okay? So if we are not producing it the right way, if it's contaminated, our markets will dwindle. It will come back to hurt our economy. Forget about the lives. It will hurt the economy one way or the other. Right. So we've said that, look, let's collaborate with our international partners and raise the alert once more. And this time we're engaging everyone, both young and old. They are all invited to come and express their concerns with illegal mining happening in Ghana, which is destroying our water bodies and our forests.
In the end, what's the end game? What are we hoping to achieve with this collaboration at the end of things?
Well, we are expecting that our political leaders will see reason to find a way to stop. And I heard you yesterday on your show discussing, the various political parties putting out their ideas on ending illegal mining or protecting the environment. We want that the views that we get from today's event to feed into their plans should they win elections in December. so that they will rely on that to, change things, change how things are done.
I see. So interesting collaboration between DW and, of course, Joy News. In the coming days, as a final bit, in the coming days and weeks, what can we expect from this collaboration? Are there events to talk about? Are there,
well, today we'll be at the University of Ghana, the BAM Library. That's where we've invited various stakeholders to come and join this conversation. We also have an audience made up of students and others who also come and share views on this. And we expect that the conversation will continue on air. It will be live on Joy News and also played on DW News. And so we expect that the conversation will widen beyond what we've done in the past.
Well, we're grateful that you're spearheading this on our behalf. That is news editor Fred Smith. He is also coordinating between DW TV and Joy News for this great event, or this great purpose as well. But from here, let's take you all the way to Edukrom. What's happening? Safari Valley Resort is buzzing with excitement as 280 young students gear up to immerse themselves in nature. Yes, Fred Smith was just telling me about how we are destroying nature. Well, last Friday, the MGL Safari Valley Eco Initiative kick-started in spectacular fashion, transforming the resort's vibrant landscapes into a dynamic outdoor classroom. Now, from discovering unique plant species to observing wildlife, the students will explore the heart of sustainability while enjoying an unforgettable adventure. And already, I have a colleague who is enjoying that adventure. Her name, Jacqueline Ansuma Yebwa. She's standing by in Edukrom. Jacqueline, how many students have experienced this great bit so far in Safari Eco Initiative? What is happening there?
Well, Benjamin, good morning, and good morning to you too, our lovely audience this morning. But then last week we had 100 students, and today we expected to have 280 students. That's quite a large number. So when we add all together, by the close of today, we'll be having 380 students having experienced this MGL Safari Eco Initiative. And just as you rightly said, at the end of this whole initiative, it's expected that these children will learn very well as to how to conserve the environment. And when you come to Safari Valley, they're all about conserving the environment. I mean, from the car movement to food to everything here is all about protecting our environment. So by the close of today, it's 380, but in its entirety, we have 5,000 students registered under this program.
Well, Jacqueline, then walk us through the activities for today. What can we expect in the course of today?
Okay, so the students are expected to arrive any moment from now. Once they get here, there'll be a head count for each of the students, and they will kickstart with a tour. At one of the camps that they'll be to, they'll come here to get to know about the different types of animals. You know, we have different species, so they'll come to this ferry area to come and learn more about this camp, where we have a couple of, you can see behind me, different kind of birds and all that right here. So this will be the very first place that they'll come to. They'll go to other places where we'd have the zebra, we'll have the emu, the ostrich, and many more. Get to know about its features. Then we'll have plants too. Get to know about the different types of plants, its uses, and all that. And the ones that we use in cooking, which will be very beneficial for our health. So basically, the tour would be in 4 different camps for today. They will take snacks, then have fun, and then there'll be a bit of tutorial, lessons on how, or ways that they could protect and ensure that the environment is duly protected.
Well, thank you very much, Jacqueline Ansuma Yebwa. You look like you're enjoying yourself in the middle of nature in Edukrom. What has your experience been like so far?
Benjamin, I was eager to come here again today. You know, last week that was my very first time inside Safari Valley. And when I came here, the greenery was captivating, getting to see all these zebras. I mean, that was the first time I'd seen a lot of zebras like that. They have a lot here, different types of animals. And my favorite part from last week was getting to know the difference between an emu and an ostrich, getting to hold their eggs and all that. It's like, it will feel like it's a place. I'll say that this is home away from home. So wherever you're watching us right now, you need to come here and enjoy this nature for yourself. So Benjamin, I'm pretty sure that this weekend you should pass by at Safari Valley.
Thank you very much. That is Jacqueline Ansumaya-Bua in the middle of nature there, Safari Valley Eco Resort, all the way from Edukrum, and those students getting to benefit. Jacqueline, thank you very much. Well, from there, let's come right here into the studio. But before we do, Medicas Hospital, a modern healthcare facility built with your recovery in mind, is offering you spacious wards built with your family in mind and a warm and caring pediatric unit built with your children in mind. They have assembled some of the brightest minds in medicine, led by Dr. Yao Osafo, the drive-time doctor, to serve you. Now, here's what they have on offer. Medical services such as specialist services in plastic surgery, obstetrics and gynecology, child health, urology, psychiatry, and eye care. They are to boot offering you a comprehensive medical diagnostic service encompassing endoscopy, medical laboratory services, x-rays and scans. And if you want medicine, they have a 24-hour pharmacy ensuring you will always receive efficacious, safe, affordable medicine. And they are bringing to you the most powerful medicine of all, simple human kindness and empathy. That is Medicas Hospital for you. Locate them at number 10 Kinso Street. That's where you can locate them. Medicas Hospital, a place of healing. But let me come into the studio now. Joining me to talk about the Pentecost Church's Peace Walk, I have in the studio Reverend Divine Aglago. He is the GPCC's Greater Accra Regional Youth Wing President. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure having you join the discussion this morning.
Thank you very much.
Tell me, what initiated, what gave birth to this idea to have this Peace March?
Thank you very much, and good morning to our viewers. We are in a time as a nation that once again, we are going into our general elections. And this time around, we realize that this particular election is bringing down a lot of tension. And in order to calm nerves and promote peace as a nation, we as the youth of this good nation Ghana feel that we should make some noise about peace. So what is really informing our decision to hold this peace walk is the fact that as the youth of this country, we want peace and we need peace.
Who and who are participating? I see the youth wing of the GPCC. Who and who are participating in this? Who and who are invited? When is it happening?
So the Ghana Charismatic and Pentecostal Council is comprised of over 250 member churches,
right,
together with other para organizations. And so we are talking about all stakeholders, including our fathers, all member churches, and other para organizations such as the Gideons International, Afrec Ghana, the Tijani Muslim Council of Ghana, the Regional Peace Council, among others. They are all coming on board. The security, we are not leaving them out. That's the Ghana Police Service. We are not leaving them out. Yes, they are all coming on board.
So when is it happening?
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning.
7 a.m.
I see.
At the Obra Spot. That is our converging.
So you're converging at the Obra Spot. What route are you taking?
Yes, in terms of the route, we converging at the Obra Spot, then through to Adabraka Police Station, the Farisco Traffic Light, the Coral Paint Traffic Light, TUC, the National Theatre, and then all we move through the ministries to converge at the forecourt, the entrance of the State House.
I see.
Yes.
Are there any groups, any entities you'd like to thank before
yes,
I let go of you?
Permit me to make mention of Dr. Affail Monney, who had really engineered this morning show. Okay. Our fathers at the regional and national level, Apostle Enoch Osafo, Reverend Johnny Apiam Crying, Apostle Eric Nyamiche, and then my team, my vice, Reverend Pascal Asiedu, Mauto, Prosper, Gariba, and Reverend Dr. Thomas Baston, and all other organizations that are coming on board to help us. I'm talking about the Ghana National Ambulance Service. They are coming on board tomorrow.
Okay.
And the media at large, including your office, I believe, will come for the live coverage.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
And our theme for this peace walk is Let Peace Prevail, chosen from the book of Matthew chapter 5, verse 9. Let peace prevail. Irrespective of the outcome of the elections, let us still remain as a people. Let us still remain as united as Ghanaians. We have only one Ghana.
Thank you, Rev. Let peace prevail. Reverend Divine Aglago, he is a GPCC Greater Accra Regional Youth Wing President. He joined me for the conversation. Let peace prevail. That's the message. Stay with us. We'll be right back to talk about Girl Get Up Africa. And that's up next on the AM show. Do stay. Welcome back on the AM show. Girls, it's time to get up, and it's all about the Girl Get Up Africa initiative. I have two wonderful young ladies joining me in the studio, Francisca Weja Agbesi and Zuleiha Nu. Both of them joined me for a conversation. You are getting up, right?
Yes.
You are getting it down, getting up, getting dirty, doing the right things. But tell us about Girl Get Up Africa and your initiative. I'll start with you, Francisca.
Okay, so thank you once more for the opportunity. So Girl Get Up Africa is an organization that is solely focused on empowering African young women through mentorship programs, trainings, and seminars. Yes, and over the years, or I think it was founded 2 years ago, and we've had a couple of seminars. So our annual seminar is coming up this week, and that is tomorrow.
All right.
Yes.
Let me have Zuleiha. So you've been a part of this.
Yes, I have.
I know that you've attended some of these. What has it meant to you to be a part of the Girl Get Up Africa
It means
initiative?
a lot, actually, especially for girls who are on their journey to reorient themselves as women. It's been a massive opportunity, and I entreat every girl watching to join us tomorrow at AMA for our third seminar, right?
Yes.
Our third seminar, yes.
Okay. So what can those who will come to the AMA HQ in Accra, what can they expect as they come for this third seminar? What can they expect from both of you?
Okay, so they should expect the best transformative talks and intriguing and insightful conversations.
Who are those going to be sharing these thoughts?
Yes,
Who are those
so
coming?
we have a couple of panelists. We have Miss Anita Ekufu coming. Yes, then...
Yeah, we have Jeanette, some camels to come in.
Okay.
Extraordinary women.
Are there any men coming?
Yes.
I know in some of your past ones, you've had a few men pass through.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. And actually, men are invited.
Men are invited.
Yeah.
In fact, you are invited.
Yes.
I passed through the last one. We'll see about tomorrow.
All right.
Then we are expecting you.
I see. This is quite an expectation. Any final words? I'll start with you, Zuleiha.
Yes, so with the Girl Get Up Africa, the focus is to help women grow. African ladies, young women. Tomorrow, come join us. There you get to network with extraordinary women, women with like-minded philosophies. You get to interact, you get to make friends, you get to network. So say you're a businesswoman, a business young girl.
Right.
You are going to meet people who are into the same business as you.
So basically connections.
Connections.
We have to
Building
run.
Connections.
So, yes, Francisca, you have the final word.
Yes, so come tomorrow. We want to see everyone there at the Accra Metropolitan Assembly from 9 a.m. till we close. We are expecting that the attendees would have an experience of their lives, a moment of transformative sessions where people would come together, socialize, connect, meet new people, and actually learn
a lot actually, because
so come learn, come connect as well.
And also have fun.
Okay.
Musicians and comedians will be coming.
Yes.
All right.
We have a surprise artist for
I'm sure the excitement already tells you that it's going to be the bomb tomorrow. But those who joined us, Francisca Weja Agbeshi, she is with Girl Get Up Africa. We also had Zuleiha Nuhu, both of them joining the conversation. And that's how we cap it off this morning. My name is Benjamin Akakwa. I do this together with Sweetie Abochi. Stay for Joy News Desk up next.